Madhurima, I want to come to you because all eyes now on the Supreme Court. We've been seeing how the protests have been getting stronger on the ground from all these people, how it took a political turn with the Congress, the Samajwadi Party, the Aam Aadmi Party all having stepped in. But important now to what the court decides and everyone abiding by that decision.
Absolutely, Swesha, because the last word will be that of the apex court, because we've seen in the past that the Delhi High Court's order and the Nainital High Court order has not been able to make way through these people living in the vicinity, because we're taking you to the visuals as I speak that the hearing is underway and the updates that we are getting over here is that the advocate Colin has said that there are concrete houses here, there are schools, there are colleges. So all these facts are being highlighted over here, the concerns that are being raised by the people as well, that they're living here for decades. But yet again, the kind of rigidity that has been put on display is a matter of concern, because in the end of the day, the courts have found merit on the side of the railways and have allotted them time and again. Multiple courts have allotted the railways to carry out the demolition, and even an eviction notice has also been given, and according to that the date of demolition would be starting from January 8. But looking at the kind of construction in this area, it's going to be a Herculean task, Sunesha. But you can see the kind of blockade that has today has occurred on the road. The entire area has poured out on the streets, heavy deployment of the police officials, and as we have been pointing out, this again feels like a Shaheen Bagh 2.0 kind of an appearance. You can see that everybody has come out on the street, not just the blockade, but also the businesses over here. Everybody is standing out and they are looking at this entire protest. Everybody has come out on the streets. So this is the situation, and the situation is quite dire over here as the protesters have blocked the entire route. Now the state government in the court is saying that this entire land belongs to the railways, and this is a main point that needs to be highlighted in the court, because this entire case has been doing rounds in multiple courts since 2007, and time and again the people, even in the Delhi High Court, said that the people living in the vicinity have not been able to produce enough evidence to back their cause, and which is why looking at the evidence, the kind of evidence that the railways has produced, old maps, old architectural plans that defines that it is their land and that it has been encroached upon. But the people living here have been pressing on the fact that they have been living here for past many decades and that they are not going to vacate it. The hearing is underway in the Supreme Court. In just few moments we'll know what the court has to say, because if the demolition happens, Swesha, it's going to be a large scale and it's going to be a very vulnerable situation over here. Yes, Swesha.
In fact, let me tell you, Madhurima, similar are the arguments that are being made in the top court right now from the advocate who's representing the petitioners. Niranjan, if I can come to you, you have all the updates coming out of the Supreme Court and the arguments being made. Take us through it.
Well, the hearing has begun, and on part of the encroachers and those who are fighting this case in the Supreme Court, who have petitioned in the Supreme Court, right now Colin Gonsalves, the senior advocate, is arguing in court, and he's going on to read what the High Court had said in the Haldwani matter. And he says that the proceedings under the Public Premises Act is not valid. The argument of the petitioners has been that the order asking the encroachers to evict immediately is not valid under the Public Premises Act. And he also says that he goes on to read a passage from the High Courts talking about how the land belongs to the state government. Talks about how the land belongs to the state government, and as we speak he's reading the orders of the High Court ordering eviction, and we've been reporting from there over 4,000 families who've been protesting at this particular site in Haldwani. They've been accused of encroaching railway land, and an RTI reply that we have shown in our coverage in the last few days also shows that it was nearly 32 hectares of land nearly 30 acres in some records. So it's a large parcel of land which has been encroached on. And just to give you an idea about what they've been saying, that is the encroachers and those who are fighting in the Supreme Court, they claim they've been paying house tax for years. They have Aadhaar cards. That's been their argument, saying that if it's government land, we have been paying taxes, and we have actually been giving our part to the government, and you can't really evict us now after collecting tax for all this while. Does that argument hold, Swapnil? Swapnil is also joining us on the broadcast. Swapnil, does that argument hold that they've been paying house tax for years and hence are not really encroachers?
Well, that argument shouldn't hold because it's not a Nazul land. If you read the Uttarakhand High Court judgment, in that there is a clear-cut distinction between the Nazul land as claimed by the petitioners. And Niranjan, let me tell you, I've asked your team to patch me live, but they haven't switched on my Skype video. So I'm giving you a phono now. But as and when they do the live, then I don't mind going live with you. But yes, the claims of the petitioner is that it is a Nazul land, which it isn't, because you have to show several proofs that are required to show that it's a Nazul land and that it was given to you in 1907, as per those kind of registration records and documentary records. Now, nowhere does it show that it is a Nazul land. If it was a Nazul land, then possibly the petitioners would have had a claim and would have been an appropriate claim, and all of this would have gone away, and the Supreme Court would have possibly considered their view, which I'm sure it will consider today, but I don't think it is going to bypass the Uttarakhand High Court judgment. It is going to rule in favor of the High Court, what the High Court has done. Unfortunately, the petitioners will have to vacate this because this seems to be an encroachment land. Tomorrow, in any encroachment proceedings of any nature, whether you call it, whether it's a forest land, whether it's a CRZ land, whether it's a Nazul land, whether it's a Waqf property, all of these things have to be shown with appropriate documentation so as to show that there has been a genesis of that. There was an actual registration in the land property cards, in all of those things, with that as a Nazul land or whatever. And then thereafter, it needs to go into the fact that all of these things then considered, then maybe the petitioners would have a proper say. But when they don't have appropriate documentation just to show that they have the Aadhaar card, everybody has an Aadhaar card. You say that you have some sort of a purchase document. Now, at that time, even if it was corruption at that end, Niranjan, let me tell you that when the thing was corrupt at that time, maybe this land ought not to have been given, since it was a railway land. Now, whether the railway authorities acted in collusion or not is a separate issue. Now, if the petitioners, for example, are able to show, Niranjan, to the Supreme Court that it was the railway authorities themselves who gave this land to them to stay, then the case of the railway authorities becomes weak. Other than that, I think it becomes a little tad difficult for an encroacher to say that just because we've been staying here since a long period of time,
we need to be staying because our exams are there, or our family has been living here since ages, or our old people are there. It is unfortunate. I completely understand that, but it is going to be a very, very tough task for Mr. Prashant Bhushan, because I believe he's arguing on behalf of the petitioners here to put a claim to the contrary to what the High Court has ruled. It's a 176-page judgment. I have gone through that entire judgment. Let me tell you, it's a very well-reasoned judgment of the Uttarakhand High Court. Now, if the Supreme Court thinks otherwise, which it can, I don't have anything to say on that. But be that as it may, it's very clear, Niranjan, here that it is going to be very, very difficult for these petitioners to stake any sort of, should I say, adverse possession. Adverse possession is generally over a period of 12 years if you stay at a particular place with the consent of the owner and to the knowledge of the owner. Without his consent, to the knowledge of the owner, and he doesn't speak a word, you then stake a claim to that property. Now, this is, going on since several years. But the key thing is here that whether it was a railway land, the answer to that is that there are several documentations which the railway authorities have shown that yes, it was our land.
There's some updates from the courtroom. There's some update from the courtroom. If I can just, bring in the observations and the arguments being made from both the court's end and the end of the lawyers. In the court, schools, community health centers, banks are all built, and 50,000 people will be affected by the order of the High Court, is what the petitioners have said, saying that the state government is saying that the land belongs to the railways and that the side of the people affected was not heard earlier as well, and the same thing has happened again, adding that under the special Act of the Railways, the High Court took action and ordered the removal of the encroachment And the court then goes on to ask who's from the side, who's from the Uttarakhand government or representing the railways. And ASG Aishwarya Bhati has said that some appeals are pending, but there is no stay in the case. Advocate Prashant Bhushan at that point saying that demarcation of the state government was done during the COVID period, but time was not given. Supreme Court then intervenes. There's an observation made. Supreme Court asks if people are living there for many years, is there any scheme for their rehabilitation? And if the state government is giving only 7 days time and saying vacate. So the Supreme Court is asking some questions as well. Asking questions on if people are living there for many years, is there a scheme for them to be rehabilitated, and whether actually only 7 days of time was given. The bench has also said certainly if it's your land, you're permitted to develop it, but if so many people have stayed there for so long, some rehabilitation must be done for them. And the Supreme Court at that point, Justice Oka says people have stayed there for 50 years or more. Bhati says it's been projected like this, but it's not. This strip of land belongs to the railways. And Justice Kaul of the Supreme Court says, what is the stand of Uttarakhand? And the Justice Kaul, as we speak, also saying that some scheme will have to be run for rehabilitation. So the Supreme Court keen on the rehabilitation angle, saying that if so many people have been staying for so many years, that they should be rehabilitated. Supreme Court saying somebody has to do this exercise of rehabilitation. So I think that's a very big observation being made. Supreme Court also saying there should be some scheme regarding rehabilitation. We understand that work should not stop for the development of the railways, but think about the families and rehabilitate them. So far as rehabilitation is concerned, quickly Swapnil, if I can get a word from Madhurima on what the status of the rehabilitation is. On the ground, Madhurima, are they being given options for rehabilitation? Is that already on the table for them?
Well, Niranjan, we talk about rehabilitation. So temporary rehabilitation has been offered by the SDM over here, but what the Supreme Court is observing is that the kind of infrastructure that has been built here and that will be taken down if the demolition is ordered, that kind of infrastructure should be given to these people, because it is not just about their houses. They have businesses over here, they have schools, they have colleges, they have banks, and everything possible that you can expect in a local vicinity in a residential area, and everything is there. So this is what the Supreme Court has been pressing upon, and as far as the SDM is concerned, he has said that there is temporary rehabilitation. There have not been made permanent measures that these people could once again start their lives like they were living over here, Niranjan. So that is the status over here. The protests are still underway. The speeches are still being given over here. The blockade continues. But now we have to see all of a sudden the sloganeering has been happening. Sloganeering is again happening. You can see that the same round of people who keep on pressuring the media to push them back. Again, such sloganeering happening over here once again to push media back, and the protest and the blockade continues on the road. Though people have stood up now, they have they are roaming around. The blockade seems to be not that strong anymore as the court hearing has begun. This has been the MO for the past few days. Also, the police taking charge, dispersing people, because one against the crowd getting angry and trying to disperse media over here. This was the situation yesterday as well, when we saw that the crowd came and they tried to disperse the media, but the police taking charge and dispersing these crowds who are trying to interrupt in our work, Niranjan. So the situation here still remains a little sensitive. People, yes, of course, because the kind of infrastructure this, specifically the 51 acres of the 78 under the contention holds is massive. There are businesses, like I've been pointing out, they have been carrying out their daily work. As you can see, I'll just request my camera person to show you around their pakka houses, their shops, their businesses. So all this will be demolished if the Supreme Court gives them
Just getting in some more observations. 1 minute, just stay with me, Madhurima. I'm getting in some more observations now. As the Supreme Court asks for a rehabilitation plan, also saying that someone has to do the exercise of rehabilitation, and that while the development of railways cannot stop and should not stop, rehabilitation should be considered. Supreme Court adding it's not that you're removing these encroachments for development, you're just removing encroachments. Somebody has to do this exercise of rehabilitation, adding that we understand that railway work must not stop. The bench is asking for some solution to be found. It's a human issue. And the Council for the Railways is saying this has not happened overnight, that due process has followed. Supreme Court is saying in harmony two things can happen at the same time. So just getting a word from Swapnil as well. Swapnil, so Supreme Court is talking about rehabilitation. I think that option is already on the table, albeit temporary, because you can't really give encroachers permanent sort of residency somewhere else, but they're being given options of temporary arrangements. And on the issue of the process itself, if the process has been ongoing for years, as the RTI replies show, do they really have an argument left?
Yes, Niranjan, I was about to come to that when you asked me the question, when you went to Badurima, and that is exactly the point that I was coming to. When you have these encroachment issues, especially in any of those lands, whether you call it, as I said, CRZ, forest, etc., and if you're going to displace a large amount of people, there is an issue of balance of convenience and equity that comes in. Then what is more at stake? Who will be more inconvenienced in this case? Obviously, the railway authorities, if they have to wait for another 3 months, they are not going to be inconvenienced. It is the people who are going to be displaced, they're going to be inconvenienced. So the Supreme Court, looking at the entire perspective of or the conspectors of facts, will ask for a rehabilitation, which you just then read that yes, they are asking for a rehabilitation on a larger scale or on a larger or on a more permanent basis rather than just temporary. Now, for the state government to say that this is already in process and this is already on the cards and this has been on the table since a long period of time, but these people have not accepted it, still the court will look at a larger perspective and say that it's a question of humans here being displaced. It is not the question of anybody else, who is going to, just 10 people or 15 people who are going to be displaced. It is going to be a lot many more people. So that is the reason why there has to be a rehabilitation scheme. So to my understanding, from the way the questions are being asked by the Supreme Court, this is not going to happen overnight. The Uttarakhand High Court judgment may be confirmed, but subject to an appropriate permanent rehabilitation scheme envisaged and or executed or planned to be executed by the railway authorities or by the government in question. Only in that the Uttarakhand government cannot lift off its hands and say, by the way, this is between the railways and the petitioners, nothing to do with us. It's not going to happen like that. They will have to step in, or they may be asked by the Supreme Court to step in to establish if the railway authorities themselves do not have a rehabilitation scheme in plan, which they cannot, because they will have to rehabilitate them somewhere at a place which may be owned by the state government. So the state will have to be a privy to this in that sense, and will have to put it on an affidavit saying that there has to be a rehabilitation scheme. So as of now, to me, it looks like the Supreme Court may adjourn this for another couple of weeks or months until there is a
update. Supreme Court is passing an order. Swapnil, there's a breaking news update. Supreme Court is passing an order. Supreme Court is passing an order as we speak. I'm just, standing by as our correspondent types from inside the court. Suesha, Supreme Court is passing an order as we speak. So this is the breaking news update. Supreme Court has decided to pass an order on this issue. Supreme Court has told railways that some methodology must be applied, and as we speak, the order is being dictated. I'm going to read out what a correspondent from the Republic Bharat team inside the Supreme Court has said. Says Supreme Court has said, कहा है कि वकील ने कहा है इस मामले में कुछ लोगों ने नीलामी में ज़मीन को खरीदा है, which means some people have also purchased this lands. Supreme Court said that the lawyer has said that in this case some people have bought the land in the auction. Not sure of the outcomes because of this, but just waiting for the order to be passed. Just standing by as we wait for our correspondents to type that order. Supreme Court ने कहा कि 7 दिनों में लैंड को खाली कराने का फैसला सही नहीं है. Supreme Court ने नोटिस जारी किया है. Supreme Court has issued a notice. So that's the breaking news update. Supreme Court has issued a notice. Supreme Court has issued a notice. Supreme Court says that the 7-day notice is not enough. 7-day notice is not right. If I can get your view on that, Supreme Court says that the decision to vacate the land in 7 days is not right. I think there is some action there where Madhurima is. Madhurima, what's going on there?
Well, people are cheering, snow clearing Niranjan, they are raising slogans of Hindustan Zindabad, and they are very happy and elated with the Supreme Court order. The issued eviction notice, as we are getting the update, the court has said that the decision to vacate the land in 7 lane is not correct. Supreme Court has issued this notice, and the way the Supreme Court has sympathized with the human angle of the people living over here, you can see that there is cheer in the crowd. There is massive cheer.
Breaking news update. Supreme Court has stayed the order. Supreme Court has stayed the High Court order and has issued a notice. Supreme Court has stayed the High Court order and has issued a notice. Exactly what we broke a few minutes back, that the High Court order has been stayed, a notice has been issued, which means they will continue, they will get some time. What happens next, Swapnil? Supreme Court has stayed the High Court order and has issued a notice.
If you know the operative part of the High Court order, it said that the demolition should continue notwithstanding anything. So logically, if I have to give time to the government to say to come out with a rehabilitation plan, I have to stay the High Court order. Otherwise, the authorities will go ahead and start demolishing. So the Supreme Court is logically going by saying that yes, the order is right fundamentally, but I have to stay this because we need to know whether there is a rehabilitation scheme in place. And until then, these people will go on with their lives as planned or as they've been living, because it's a right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution, which supersedes every other aspect, whether of encroachment or rehabilitation or, of development. So fundamentally, the High Court order is right. If it's found that there was a High Court order was erroneous, it would have overturned it, it would have, quashed the order, which it did not. So it only stayed the order to the extent that it sends notice to the government to come out with a rehabilitation scheme and plan. So what next? The railway authorities have to come out with a rehabilitation plan. Alternatively, in consonance or in consultation with the state government, which also will have to come and join hands if it's already not a party to this. And then the Supreme Court will take a call as to what to do and how much time to give more if there is a proper rehabilitation plan in accordance with all the things that they've been enjoying thus far. Because 50 years is a tad too long.
Suesha has the full order. Suesha, can you take us through the order, please? The full order.
Yes. Just reading out from it. The order states that a workable arrangement is necessary to segregate people who may have rights versus no rights, coupled with schemes of rehabilitation which already exist, while recognizing the need of the railways. The order also states that we put to the ASG that full rehabilitation of the persons in the area is needed, issuing a notice. In the meantime, there shall be a stay of the directions passed in the impugned order. There should also be a restraint anymore on construction or development of the land. That means it is a stay on the order, Swapnil. Detail for us, because we are also getting details, I beg your pardon, that the interim stay on both sides will continue, and the next hearing is on the 7th of February.
It's an interim stay. Basically, it's an interim stay.
The next hearing.
They get time till 7th of February. It's an interim stay till the 7th of February. 7th of February. Right. So basically, the issue will be heard, right? The issue will be heard next on the 7th of February. Things haven't changed. They haven't stayed the entire order of eviction. They have stayed the order of evicting in 7 days. So that's the only stay that they have. It's a temporary reprieve. It's an interim stay. Swapnil.
Right. Yeah, Niranjan, what happens here is that, see, you cannot stay the entire order in the sense that you cannot quash the order. Because otherwise it's amounting to saying that, yes, since you've been encroaching on this land since several years now, so it's okay, it's legitimized. It doesn't work like that. The Supreme Court will not sanction an illegality. So what the Supreme Court is doing here is that the Supreme Court is saying that let us stay this order on both sides, no development, no encroachment, nothing for that. I mean, no demolition, etc., nothing of that sort. Until then, stay till 7th of February. 7th of February, you guys come back again to us, show us that there is a rehabilitation plan. If the rehabilitation according to us is satisfactory, then you can go ahead with the demolition. And then also, I think the Supreme Court will give them still 3 weeks more time. I don't think they're just going to say that, okay, 7th of February, everything is all right, so let's start demolition from 8th of February. It doesn't work like that. So it's obviously going to be at least quite some time before the actual demolition starts taking place. But this is a proper order. As I was telling you, that the balance of convenience lies in favor of the petitioners because they are going to face more inconvenience. So the court at an interim stage employs the doctrine of balance of inconvenience. Who is going to have more inconvenience? Obviously the petitioners here, because they've been living here since 50 years like this. So that is how the Supreme Court operates, and the Supreme Court has in its wisdom said that 7 days is a tad too less, which I knew it would, and that's the reason it's going to go ahead and say that come out with a rehabilitation scheme. Now, to say that under RTI, all of this was in place and all those things are basically hollow arguments given by those of the railway authorities, which no court is going to buy, even if they are true. So the court is going to say, look, it amounts to a disbandment of an entire township, basically as such. So we are not going to buy this. We are going to give it time. Heavens are not going to fall if the development starts after 3 months. When it's not taking place for 40 years or 50 years, it's not going to matter if there are 3 months more or 4 months more or 6 months more.
So Swapnil, really going by the observations of the top court, it is very clear that they're trying to find a middle ground, saying that obviously 50,000 people can't be uprooted in a night like this, and there needs to be a plan B for them. This is the time for the state, as you're suggesting, to come up with that plan B, and things will really depend on what happens on the 7th February, a basis what the state comes up with. Because the top court has made it very clear that there is a way of harmony with both options going hand in hand.
Yes, Suesha, that's exactly what the Supreme Court is doing. And also the Supreme Court is paving the way for future such demolitions of encroachments in any parts of the country. It is saying that, so this order will come across as a good precedent that Supreme Court did give time. It came across for a rehabilitation aspect. That's why you saw the cheer amongst the petitioners. It eventually also tells the petitioners that
yes,
we are only granting you time. We are not reversing it. We are not sanctioning an illegality, even if it was by an auction. Because the Supreme Court is fundamentally convinced of the Uttarakhand High Court order. It's only as far as the process is concerned, that is where the Supreme Court has a variance or a disagreement with, because it's a tad too fast. And oftentimes it happens that the High Court is more seized of the matter because the High Court judges themselves could be resident in the Uttarakhand state and could be knowing, what's happening in the neighborhood. So that is the reason why they may have felt that this is too long. And so the Uttarakhand High Court is also not wrong. They may have felt that, no, this encroachment needs to go overnight and let us push this envelope so that they go to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court eventually hastens this and also gives a little bit more time and draws the harmony aspect which you rightly pointed out. So the High Court basically knows what the next step of the petitioners is going to be, which is to approach the Supreme Court. And then it also knows what the Supreme Court is going to do. So that is why many times often the High Court passes orders in this manner, that fundamentally they are right. But as far as the process is concerned, it's only a hasty process. Let's give them more time. So nothing is going to change as such. These people are not going to be able to stay there for a long period of time. In a nutshell.
And, while Swapnil, the Supreme Court has also acknowledged that the railways needs to go ahead with the development work. For now, the Supreme Court has banned further construction work and development work on the land till the next hearing of the 7th of February, which is also the reason for cheer among the people who are on the ground. Let's get a quick word from Madhurima to what's happening there. Madhurima, they are celebrating, and it is certainly a sense of reprieve for them till the 7th of February. But crucial now also for the state to the plan B that they come up with.
Well, Suesha, absolutely. You've put it very amicably that it is an interim order and they will have to come up with a plan B. But what the reason of the cheer is that the way the Supreme Court has spoken about a rehabilitation plan, and the way the Supreme Court has said that it has a humane angle, it's an entire township. You cannot expect 50,000 people who've been living here with businesses to relocate in a jiffy. So I'll take you to the visuals to show you that now the protest, the blockade that was very heavy has reduced to quite an amount, but people still elated. The kind of speeches that were happening in the morning as well have changed. The tone has changed. There is more happiness in the entire speech where they're saying that the victory is theirs. But I believe that these people do not know the detail of it, like we have been deciphering for our viewers, that the Supreme Court has put an interim order and has asked for a exercise that could help in rehabilitation. But as you can see that the people are now calm and composed. The kind of aggressive sloganeering that was initially happening has stopped. and they are congratulating each other, they're celebrating, they're clapping, and they are finally, for the past couple of days, they have been very tense. We've been reporting on ground, they all were very tense, and now a sigh of relief for these people living in Banpulpur area of Haldwani, because until 7th of February, and also they have this ray of hope that a rehabilitation plan, as and when it comes, will be as solid as the kind of provisions that they have over here, Swesha. So you can see that the people have all come out on the road.
Right.
They're all happy, they are calmed down, and now they're listening to the speech on the stage. But yes, a sigh of relief for the protesters, Swesha. We are getting these updates. There's much calm and much joy in the air right now over here, Swesha.
All right, so Apnil, I want to come back to you because it is equally important to understand that this is a temporary arrangement. This is interim relief till the 7th of February, which also means that the people or the protesters here need to understand that if the Supreme Court decides otherwise, and if they think that there is an adequate arrangement of rehabilitation, then they may just have to be moved from here. And that is also something that is very important for them to understand.
Yes, Suesha, it's very clear that the Supreme Court has given enough time to the state government to come out with the rehabilitation plan. Basically, what the Supreme Court is trying to tell the state and the railway authorities that, look, we've given you almost a month now, so you better come up with something feasible if you really want the Uttarakhand High Court order to be executed by us or to be confirmed and then executed by you or in consonance with the order. So if you don't come up with a satisfactory scheme even within a month, then it's your fault. Then we will still be inclined to grant more time to the petitioners. So it's only the ball is in your court now. That's the short message that the Supreme Court has given.
Yes, because the Supreme Court has also told the railways that we understand your needs, but how can this be reconciled? The Supreme Court also saying to the railways that some methodology must be applied. So they are primarily telling them to understand that the needs of the people also needs to be looked into, and there needs to be a methodology which of course the railways will have to come up with, and the state, in case of rehabilitation. But all in all, this is only a temporary relief. This is only an interim relief till the 7th of February. So
yes, it is an interim relief. It's absolutely interim, and that's why you have in interim orders only you come across with the balance of convenience, as I pointed out, and here the balance of convenience lies in favor of the petitioners because they'll be more inconvenienced as far as this is concerned. And that's the reason why the Supreme Court has, said that, look, we are with you until some time, but it is an encroached land. Whether it was auctioned, whether you bought it, is a separate issue. The fundamental of the High Court order is something which we don't want to get into, at least as of today. Maybe on the 7th of February, you want to come and argue at length. As far as this is concerned, maybe we'll allow you that. But I don't think the Supreme Court will be more inclined to hear on the fundamental aspects of the High Court order. I think it will go more on the rehabilitation part because it's basically, shut aside any such arguments to say that there is some justification for encroachment upon the land, and then for people to say that yes, now that we've been living on these encroached lands in 40, 50 years, so you cannot displace us. I mean, just imagine somebody putting up something in the middle of the road. For 10, 15 years, the municipal authorities being in cahoots, and then saying that okay, now that they were in cahoots, let's sanction that and let their impediment be on the middle of the road. It doesn't work like that. There is a certain law to that, and certain regularization can be only done. We use the word regularization. Say it's a mezzanine floor. If the mezzanine floor was there since some time, you don't demolish it because it doesn't hurt. But mezzanine floor is different within the building, and some building itself is different. On the middle of the road or in a place like this, I mean, you look at this. I mean,
right.
I'm looking on the screen. It's going to be very hard. I mean, the demolition will be there, but after some time.
All right, so Apnil, we'll talk about its various aspects, and also Madhurima, keep getting updates from you on how it is panning out on the ground. For the moment, we have to slip into a very short commercial break. We'll be back on the other side. Stay with us. And a quick check of the other big stories we are tracking for you. It is the Pathan controversy that has surfaced once again, where the Bajrang Dal staged protests in Gujarat. And Rahul Gandhi fear-mongering among the Agniveers once again. We'll get you details of it on the other side. Stay with us.
First of all, for past 2 months, there have been various issues which has been popping up in Tamil Nadu. That is from BJP only. Okay. And sincerely, I would like to only question in which way Annamalai has supported any woman. In which way he has supported. Be it, there was a audio leak with Daisy Charan and Trichy Surya. He actually made a compromise and he actually suspended the person, Trichy Surya. But it just vanished away. The problem, he did not accept his resignation. Basically, he's a habitual offender, Trichy Surya. And he's not only done that to one person, he's done it to Alish Abdullah, which also came in the same month. Yes. And then she has also openly came out to the press and told that, the person is spoken very badly. And he's apparently very close aide of Annamalai. Okay. Now, today, he's saying that I will not accept his resignation. And in which way is he voicing out for women? When he has actually openly spoken about me in front of 150 people, speaking about Dubai in a very absurd way, in abusive way, inducing a very wrong idea about a woman, especially me. And then now, he doesn't even have an answer to come out. He doesn't have an answer. Recently, I just saw a interview where press meet, he's saying that let Gayatri Raghuram put more allegation on me so I will become famous, popular, so people will talk about me. So is he using me as for his popular agenda? So women are, so he cannot answer a women's question for the abusive comment he had made, but he wants to keep me as a agenda.
Viewers, we're live and breaking this Thursday. Let's get in an update in the Air India case, viewers. Sources have informed that Delhi police has sent notice to all Air India crew and called them for interrogation in the Air India incident. The aircraft was Boeing 777, which was going from a couple of areas there, and it was on its way to Delhi. It was a New York to Delhi flight. Delhi police will now record the statements of the crew members of Air India. So far, the police sent notices to 4 people associated with the airline and asked them to record their statements. Police also informed that the passengers' statements will also be called in to record their statement, viewers. So right now, we are seeing that an update has come in. An update has come in where we can tell you, viewers, that the hunt is on to nab the accused businessman. The police will record the statement of the crew. Now, remember, inebriated passenger, a drunk passenger who allegedly urinated on a woman passenger in the business class of the Air India flight has been identified. He is a businessman hailing from Mumbai. The efforts are right now on to nab him. That's what the police is informed. The Delhi police also informed that if the suspect does not cooperate, then the police will send a lookout circular. Piyush Mishra is joining us. Piyush Mishra is joining us live. Piyush, good afternoon to you. Take our viewers through what we can expect next right now. We know that Delhi police will record the statements of the co-passengers and the crew to really decode what happened on that flight. All right, we'll get back to Piyush. We'll connect back to Piyush Mishra, our correspondent, who will get us more details. But viewers, let's tell you what's happened so far. What we can tell you right now, viewers, sources have informed that Delhi police, I repeat, sources have informed that Delhi police have sent notice to all Air India crew and called them for interrogation in Air India incident. The aircraft was Boeing 777, which was going from JFK to Delhi. Delhi police will record the statements of the crew members of Air India. So far, police sent notices to 4 people associated with the airline. and asked them to record their statement. So we're getting these updates coming in, back-to-back updates coming in, viewers, right now. And Air India has imposed a 30-day ban on the passenger. On the part of Air India, the airline has imposed 30-day flying ban on the passenger who had urinated on a co-passenger on board a flight from New York to Delhi in November last year. An internal panel has been established to probe for any lapses on the part of the crew during that incident. The DGCA has sought a report from the airline on the incident as well. And DGCA has said that strict action should be taken against those who were found negligent. All right, I'm being joined by Harsha. Harsha is joining us live right now. Harsha, very good afternoon to you. Just take us through exactly what we can expect next right now. Now, this incident, it's a horror story in a way that a passenger urinated on another passenger. What can we expect next in this case?
Exactly, Shivangi. What we are learning is that the DCP, Ravi Kumar Singh, the IGI, DCP is right now meeting on this entire issue. Just a second, Shivangi, I'll check my audio. Exactly. Shivangi, what I was telling is that the DCP IGI, Ravi Kumar Singh, is having a meeting in PHQ regarding this entire Air India issue because a team from Delhi has left from Mumbai. It is in Mumbai, but we are being told that the accused have fled.
We are being told that the accused have fled away from his residence. He is the resident of Mumbai in Mira Road. Right now, he's not at his residence. So a team has been constituted who is searching for the accused. He's few kilometers away from Mumbai and the location is being traced through his contact details, and the people who are close to him are being interrogated by the police officers. Right now, I'm reporting from IGI police station, Shivangi. The crew member and the staff of Air India has been called here at the police station for the interrogation to inquire about the entire incident, exactly what happened on 26 November inside the flight, inside the airlines Air India, which was traveling from JFK to New Delhi. It landed in New Delhi on 26th of November. The incident was reported 39 days later. The female, the lady, the victim advocated for herself. She wrote to the chairman of the Tata Group. Till then, before, Air India didn't take the cognizance of this entire matter. In fact, DGC also landed in this entire issue when the letter came in public. Now we are getting to know the formal FIR has been registered in this police station, and what we are getting to know is the crew members and staff members of the airlines of the Air India of that particular flight will be coming here at this police station to record their incident about the entire incident which has happened. Only 30 days punishment which has been on the accused. Only 30 days punishment. He has been banned from the airlines, and the more serious punishment is being asked by the victim, the female passenger. We are being told that she's a foreign national. She came to Delhi. Now her whereabouts are very sensitive, because of which police have not shared any whereabouts, like where is she right now, where she resides, or for what purpose she was here in the national capital. All such details are not shared because police are saying it is really sensitive issue, but we are expecting that police have already constituted a team, and sooner the accused will be nabbed. And if he doesn't support with the probe, or he still goes missing, police will issue LOC, lookout circular, for the accused. So these are all the details, Shivangi, which we are getting in this entire matter of the Air India. Back to you, Shivangi.
Right, Harsha. Stay on with us. I'm being joined right now by Sandeep and Piyush as well. Sandeep and Piyush are joining us. I just want to go across to Piyush Mishra, who's joining us first. Piyush, let's take our viewers through exactly what happened on that flight, because the incidents which took place are quite shocking. It's something that you would not expect on a flight, an international flight from New York to Delhi.
Well, certainly it is a very shocking incident which has come to the fore, and the letter was also written by the victim to the Tata Group, where the victim is now demanding actions. In fact, the victim has also narrated as to how she went through a horrific ordeal there while the flight was coming from New York to Delhi. Now, what we are learning is that Delhi police has registered an FIR. What we are also told is that Delhi police is in constant touch with the victim and is also, updating her about the kind of investigation which Delhi police is doing. going. In fact, Delhi police team has also gone to Mumbai, to Maharashtra to look for this very accused, where the Delhi police most likely is going to arrest him. And if what sources are telling us that if this accused is not arrested today, then Delhi police is likely to likely to take more stringent action, and LOC is likely to be issued against him. So we'll have to wait and watch how Delhi police further investigate the entire case. But this shocking incident has come to light. So far, it is any statement has not been issued by the Aviation Ministry, but sources within the Aviation Ministry have confirmed to us that yes, they have taken note of this incident, and they will take proper action at the required time. But this is a very shocking incident which has now come to fore. We'll have to wait and watch how Delhi police further investigates this case, but not only in Delhi but also in Mumbai. The investigation is going on. A team of Delhi police is already there in Maharashtra.
Right, Piyush. Let's go to Sandeep. Sandeep is joining us live too. Sandeep, now we know the sections added. Okay, so the sections are 294, obscene act in a public place. 354, assault or criminal force to woman with intent to outrage her modesty. 509, word, gesture or act intended to insult the modesty of a woman. What details are we picking up, Sandeep?
See, as you rightly mentioned about the IPC sections that have been in fact pressed against the said person Shekhar Mishra. Now, apart from that, Shivangi, what we've been informed by our sources that Delhi police team have in fact left for several locations across the country, not only just within Maharashtra, but they are also looking out for the accused in Uttar Pradesh and also at the border areas of Gorakhpur and Nepal. Now, we also been we had got few leads in Mumbai, and we also tried searching out few locations wherein we got to know that he no longer resides in Mira Road, but most likely that police will also come and do a basic inquiry out here in Mira Road. Apart from that, search operation is in fact been carried out by Delhi police across country. Most possibly that he may be nabbed in a day or two. That is what being claimed by Delhi police. It will be very much crucial to see what comes out in his in fact statement, and by when Delhi police will in fact be able to nab him.
Right, Sandeep. So Sandeep is getting us all the top updates. So we have Sandeep, we have Harsha, we have Piyush who are getting us top updates. I just want to go back to our reporters right now. Harsha, let's go back to you. Harsha, now let's talk a little bit about what really happened, because there's a statement which has been given by the victim, and she has said a couple of things as well. She has written to the chairman of Tata Group, and she has said a couple of things. Let's take our viewers through what she has said, because kind of details emerging from that statement, they're quite descriptive of what she really had to go through on that flight.
Exactly, Shivangi, one thing. She's a lady, she resides in Manhattan. She took a flight from JFK to Delhi. She's a foreign national. She was in that flight. She was sitting in the business class just next to that unruly passenger. It was the afternoon time when the lunch was served to all the passengers, and as lunch was served, after it the lights were dimmed. And it was at that time, the unruly passenger, the accused passenger was so much drunk, he just stood up, he exposed himself and urinated on the fellow passenger, on that female. She's a 70 years old female. At that time, it was so shocking that she was complaining to the airline staff and crew member, but none of them took cognizance of this entire incident. They just came, and in fact the accused was not getting aside after he did this. After he did this, he was not setting aside when a passenger from behind came and asked him, "Ki sir, please go away," and that female was given another seat. The crew member just came in, they just spread the disinfectant and they left. They didn't take any action. And then when the flight was landing, they didn't even complain about this entire incident to the police station, the IGI police station from where I am reporting, or to the airlines, the staff or the management or any of the senior officials, to the DGCA. No one. The accused walked scot-free. he just stood up and just he walked free when the airlines landed in national capital on 26th of November. After that lady started complaining to Air India on the mail ID she was provided. She was continuously complaining and she thought that any point of time her letter will be noticed. She was waiting for the entire thing for long. And it was outraging the modesty of a woman. It was about the safety and comfort of that woman, which the airlines didn't took cognizance of. The crew members were completely negligent towards the comfort of that lady. They didn't file any complaint, no action against the accused, and it was then, after so many days, that lady thought that she has to advocate for herself when she exactly wrote to the chairman of the Tata Group, Natarajan. She wrote, and after that the response came on.
I'll come back to you. I'll just come to you in a moment. I'm being joined by Advaita Kala, women activist, joining us on the phone line. Thank you so much for joining us here. Now, this is a story that we are discussing here, and a lot of demands being made right now about that action should be taken on this man. Now, this man is missing right now. What is your reaction to this story coming in?
It's absolutely appalling that an incident like this could take place almost 2 months ago and nothing has come of it. It has only been brought out into the public domain now. And this person gets just 30 days off. Imagine what he's done on this flight, on this long-haul flight, where you're actually trapped in this situation with this pervert. He's exposed himself, he's urinated on this woman, and imagine being stuck, locked into a situation with a person like that, how traumatic it must have been for this woman. And the fact that the Tata Group has not responded, I'm appalled. I mean, they run hotels like the Taj. What are they doing with Air India? How can a person get away with this kind of behavior?
Right. And many questions being raised on what this lady had to go through. And, this is the big question coming up on anybody who's watching the story is that while this incident happened, while someone comes to the seat of a lady sitting there who's on the flight, how could he do this with nobody even reacting?
Absolutely. I mean, where was the crew? Were they asleep? What did they do post this incident? Did they move him out of the business class cabin and put him somewhere else, put some physical distance between him and this lady? These are all things that the Air India has to answer, because this is traumatic for anybody to go through this.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. Women's activist Advaita Kala joining us here. Thank you so much. And our reporters are getting us all the details. I would like to thank Harsha and thank Sandeep as well for joining us at this point of time. We'll continue tracking the story. Right now, the big demand which is being made is hashtag arrest the airborne creep. That's a hashtag running right now. Much more coming up on the other side. Yogi Saffron Rope spokes Congress leader says stop talking about religion for investment. Big controversy over Pathan. Bajrang Dal tears down posters. Massive protests in Ahmedabad. Stay tuned.
First of all, for past 2 months, there have been various issues which has been popping up in Tamil Nadu. That is from BJP only. Okay. And sincerely, I would like to only question in which way Annamalai has supported any woman. In which way he has supported. Be it, there was a audio leak with Daisy Charan and Trichy Surya. He actually made a compromise and he actually suspended the person, Trichy Surya. But it just vanished away. The problem, he did not accept his resignation. Basically, he's a habitual offender, Trichy Surya. And he's not only done that to one person, he's done it to Alish Abdullah, which also came in the same month. Yes. And then she has also openly came out to the press and told that, the person is spoken very badly. And he's apparently very close aide of Annamalai. Okay. Now, today, he's saying that I will not accept his resignation. And in which way is he voicing out for women? Where he has actually openly spoken about me in front of 150 people, speaking about Dubai in a very absurd way, in an abusive way, inducing a very wrong idea about a woman, especially me. And then like now, he doesn't even have an answer to come out. He doesn't have an answer. Recently, I just saw a interview where press meet. He's saying that let Gayatri Raghuram put more allegation on me, so I will become famous, popular, so people will talk about me. So is he using me as a for his popular agenda?
हत्याकांड हुआ था ना, ऐसा ही ये हुआ है, क्योंकि वो भी उन लड़कों को नहीं।
In the Anjali accident case does not seem to end. And now what we are seeing over here at Sultanpuri police station is host of protesters who are demanding that the killers of Anjali should be given strictest of strictest punishment, and if required, they should be hanged. Now it is important to note that in what sections the Delhi police is going to charge these 5 people under. We are speaking at a time when there are several CCTV images that are surfacing in which you understand that yes, there are several twists and turns which have happened in this case. Now, it is going to be interesting to note that over here, these host of protesters, what turn of events is this entire case going to happen? From day one, ever since this incident has happened, there have been several twists and turns. It began with a normal accident, but then suddenly we realized that there were several aspects which met the eye. The pressure from the media and the pressure from the protesters have resulted in Delhi police to relent and add several sections and also take a proactive approach in this case. Will the proactive approach adopted by Delhi police now ensure that finally Anjali and her family members get justice? Let us also talk to these protesters whom we are talking from day one to just get a sense of what exactly they are feeling. क्या नाम है अभी आपका?
अंकित बैनीवाल।
क्या डिमांड कर रहे हैं आप?
हमारी जी यही डिमांड है, हत्यारों को फांसी मिलनी चाहिए।
हत्यारे मतलब दिल्ली, मतलब उनको तो दिल्ली पुलिस से बोल रही है एक्सीडेंट है
ये जो जांच का विषय है, दिल्ली पुलिस जो अपनी जांच कर रही है, बाकी हमें सीबीआई की जांच की मांग करते हैं, और जो हत्यारे उनको फांसी मिलनी चाहिए, यही हमारी मांग है बस।
मेरा नाम गीता है, मैं उसके पड़ोस में रहती हूँ। हम ये डिमांड करते हैं कि उसके हत्यारों को फांसी होनी चाहिए। ये इस तरह से जो मर्डर किया गया है, एक बहुत ही जो है ना सोची समझी साजिश।
आपको क्यों लगता है मर्डर है?
हमारे को इसलिए मर्डर लगता है क्योंकि जो अभी तक हमारे सुनने में भी आया है, इस तरह से जो है ना, जिस तरह लड़की के बदन पे एक भी कपड़ा नहीं है, तो इस तरह से नहीं हो सकता कि उस तरह से रगड़ में कपड़े फट जाए सारे।
एक चीज मुझे बताइए जरा, क्या ये आपको लगता है कि ये आरोपी अंजलि को जानते थे? नहीं जानते थे। तो फिर
ये निर्भया हत्याकांड जैसा है, ये सारा बिल्कुल सेम टू सेम वैसा ही है। ये जिस तरह से निर्भया हत्याकांड हुआ था ना, ऐसा ही ये हुआ है, क्योंकि वो भी उन लड़कों को नहीं जानती थी और वो उसको नहीं जानते थे। इसके साथ में रेप भी हुआ है, प्लस का मर्डर किया गया है। ये हम कॉन्फिडेंस से बता सकते हैं।
So as you can see that the protesters over here are saying that there is a lot of similarities between the Nirbhaya rape and murder and as well as Anjali, so far an accident case. From here on, it is again going to be dependent on the thorough and impartial investigation of Delhi police that what turn of events is this case going to take place. With video journalist Bhishma Giri, this is Piyush Ori reporting for Republic TV.
All right, much more coming up on the other side. Big controversy over Pathan. Bajrang Dal tears down posters. Massive protest in Ahmedabad. India rose Agnipath, but Rahul Gandhi is at it again. He is now fear-mongering on Agniveers. Stay tuned.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
First of all, for past 2 months, there have been various issues which has been popping up in Tamil Nadu. That is from BJP only. Okay. And sincerely, I would like to only question in which way Annamalai has supported any woman. In which way he has supported. Be it, there was a audio leak with Daisy Charan and Trichy Surya. He actually made a compromise and he actually suspended the person, Trichy Surya. But it just vanished away. The problem, he did not accept his resignation. Basically, he's a habitual offender, Trichy Surya. And he's not only done that to one person, he's done it to Alisha Abdullah, which also came in the same month. Yes. And then she has also openly came out to the press and told that, the person is spoken very badly. And he's apparently very close aide of Annamalai. Now, today, he's saying that I will not accept his resignation. And in which way is he voicing out for women? Where he has actually openly spoken about me in front of 150 people, speaking about Dubai in a very absurd way, in abusive way, inducing a very wrong idea about a woman, especially me. And then now, he doesn't even have an answer to come out. He doesn't have an answer. Recently, I just saw a interview where press meet, he's saying that let Gayatri Raghuram put more allegation on me so I will become famous, popular, so people will talk about me. So is he using me as for his popular agenda? So
now it seems as though Bajrang Dal has taken the religion in their own hands, become custodians of the religion, and now they're also creating hooliganism in the name of it by saying that they have taken offense on the movie Pathan, and they had in fact just here at the theatre come yesterday, and you see several posters of the movies that have been put up, and one such poster was that of Pathan, and that's exactly what we saw, that several such posters of Pathan movie had been torn, and the Bajrang Dal workers had come here and they had created ruckus, and they had also threatened the multiplex owners, and they had stated that if you release this movie here, there will be consequences, and that they will be stopping people from coming here and watching this movie as well, and that you are not allowed to do any promotional events of an anti-national movie is something that the Bajrang Dal workers have also stated, and that is why we see hooliganism in the name of protecting the religion that is being perpetrated by Bajrang Dal, and no cognizance as of now by the police has been taken. With video journalist Vipin Mori, I'm Priyanka Sharma for Republic.
This is Alisha Ajaynar reporting from Mumbai, and this is Republic.
Bihar. The scooty was hit by Balino, and exactly this area, because we saw when the scooty was passing this entire road of Kishan Vihar, at that time there was no trail, there was no line in this entire road, but when Balino exactly crossed this path, there was a trail of blood, and just we saw a beam of light. That means Gypsy police PCR van, that Gypsy stopped at a point where scooty got hit by Balino.
First of all, for past 2 months, there have been various issues which has been popping up in Tamil Nadu. That is from BJP only. Okay. And sincerely, I would like to only question in which way Annamalai has supported any woman. In which way he has supported. Be it, there was a audio leak with Daisy Charan and Trichy Surya. He actually made a compromise and he actually suspended the person, Trichy Surya. But it just vanished away. The problem, he did not accept his resignation. Basically, he's a habitual offender, Trichy Surya. And he's not only done that to one person, he's done it to Alisha Abdullah, which also came in the same month. Yes. And then she has also openly came out to the press and told that, the person is spoken very badly. And he's apparently very close aide of Annamalai. Now, today, he's saying that I will not accept his resignation. And in which way is he voicing out for women? Where he has actually openly spoken about me in front of 150 people, speaking about Dubai in a very absurd way, in abusive way, inducing a very wrong idea about a woman, especially me. And then like now, he doesn't even have an answer to come out. He doesn't have an answer. Recently, I just saw a interview where press meet, he's saying that let Gayatri Raghuram put more allegation on me, so I will become famous, popular, so people will talk about me. So is he using me as for his popular agenda? So women are so he cannot answer a women's question for the abusive comment he had made, but he wants to keep me as a agenda to make this issue as a popular. And how absurd is that? Which leader would come say something like that?
And a quick check of the other top stories.
We're reporting from the Banpur area here in Haldwani, and as far as I can see, the entire road has been blocked by the residents of this particular vicinity. And the only thing that is happening is they're expressing their anger and just hoping with their fingers crossed that the Supreme Court puts a stay on the matter. Because if it does not happen, then from January 8th, the demolition drive of this entire area.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV with me, Ankit Prasad. It's a Thursday mid-afternoon and we're tracking a number of key stories. There are key pieces of visual evidence in the vandalism of the Vande Bharat Express as well as in the Delhi hit and run case. There is a court order in the Haldwani eviction versus encroachment issue, and there is also a controversy, a political controversy over Yogi Adityanath, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh's business-oriented visit to Mumbai. We'll get you all that and more on this bulletin. Let's start off with the headlines. Inebriated man urinates on a 70-year-old woman on an Air India flight. India demands his arrest. Yogi Adityanath's saffron robe spooks the Congress. The leader says, stop talking about religion for investment. It's a big controversy over Pathan. The Bajrang Dal has torn down posters and there are massive protests planned in Ahmedabad. Anjali's family fights for justice as lapses by the Delhi police become the top focus. A massive protest ongoing in the national capital. In the dock for negligence and delay, Delhi police to be questioned in the hit and run case. And the Supreme Court puts an interim stay on the Haldwani eviction drive, matter to be heard next on February the 7th. Viewers, we start off in Mumbai, the financial capital of the country, where Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is on a 2-day visit to spur investment for his state. While Yogi Adityanath is here, he's meeting top business leaders and corporate heads. The Congress party seems to have an issue with it, and particularly with his clothes. Yogi Adityanath, the chief pontiff of the Gorakhnath Mutt, who's famed for wearing his saffron robes, has not got a good response from the Congress. The Congress wants him to dress in more business-like attire. There is a leader of the Congress named Hussein Dalwar who has taken issue with this, and he has mocked Yogi Adityanath for attempting to spur investment in Uttar Pradesh by visiting Mumbai in his traditional garb. Let's listen in to what this Congress leader had to say.
ते उद्योग उचलून कुठेतरी नेण्याचा प्रयत्न करण्याऐवजी आदित्यनारायणला मी असं सांगेन, तुम्ही हे का नाही करत की तुम्ही तुमच्याकडे वेगळे उद्योग का नाही तयार करत, ते करा आणि त्यासाठी वातावरण तयार करा. त्यासाठी रोज काही धर्माच्या आणि ह्याच्या गोष्टी करण्याऐवजी आणि भगवे कपडे घालून फिरण्याऐवजी जरा मॉडर्न व्हा, आधुनिक व्हा. उद्योग हे आधुनिकतेचे असतात, ते आधुनिक विचार घ्या तर उद्योग येतील.
So we just heard this statement by the Congress leader Hussein Dalwar, who seems to have a number of issues. He wants Yogi Adityanath to be modern, and by modern he means to dress in a different manner, and he thinks this is what will spur investment. Now there has been a lot of response and a lot of backlash. We spoke to Ram Kadam earlier, to Atul Bhatkalkar. They said it betrays the Congress mentality, and Congress being anti-Hindu and suffering from this colonial hangover. There has now been a clarification also from the Congress party. Let's listen now to the clarification, how the Congress has justified or defended this statement.
मैं योगी आदित्यनाथ के नाम के ऊपर जो बयान दिया उसमें कोई भगवे रंग या केसरी रंग के खिलाफ बोला नहीं. मेरा कहना ऐसा है कि इंडस्ट्री ये आधुनिक बात है. आकाश में रेनबो देखेंगे तो उसमें 7 रंग है, उसमें भी भगवा रंग है. तो मैं भगवे रंग के खिलाफ नहीं. मेरा कहना ऐसा था कि अगर यूपी में या इस देश में इंडस्ट्री आनी है तो आधुनिक विचारों के जरिए आएगी. सब लोगों को साथ में लेके अमन पैदा करके समाज में एकता है ये दिखाएंगे तो ही लोग इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, तो ही बाहर के लोग आएंगे. आज आने के लिए हिचक रहे हैं, इसका कारण ये है. तो आदिनाथ जी ने ये विचार करना चाहिए कि खाली ड्रेस डाल के नहीं चलेगा, दिमाग भी आधुनिक होना जरूरी है.
So first, after taking umbrage at what Yogi Adityanath was wearing, his well-known saffron garb, the Congress has taken a U-turn and is now very keen on clarifying that it is not anti-Hindu and its remarks are not to be perceived that way. It has spoken about communal harmony and things of that nature. This has not cut ice with the BJP. We have a number of key responses. Let's listen in to Shehzad Poonawala, to Ram Kadam and some other leaders of the BJP on what they have to say.
Hussein Dalwar has made this statement attacking saffron color and the saffron clothes of Yogi Adityanath ji. He says saffron is not modern. This is the same Congress party which said Hindu terror, saffron terror, Hindutva is like ISIS, Gita ji mein jihad hai, Ram Mandir should be opposed, Shri Ram does not exist. This was their stand on affidavit. They opposed the Bhumi Pujan of Ram Mandir. Hindu is a dirty word is what they said. And now they are attacking saffron color. Saffron is a pratik, is a symbol of sacrifice. Saffron is part of our tricolor. Does the Congress party oppose that also? Today Rahul Gandhi must tell us, because he claims to be a Janyudhari Hindu, does he stand with these anti-Hindu comments of Hussein Dalwai, or will the Congress party take action on Hussein Dalwai and sack him?
कांग्रेस के नेता मुख्यमंत्री योगी जी से कह रहे हैं कि वे भगवे रंग के वस्त्र न पहने, मॉडर्न वस्त्र पहने. क्या यह बयान देश के साधु संतों का, भगवा पहनने वाले हमारे पूजनीय वंदनीय संतों का अपमान नहीं है? कांग्रेस दल और उनके नेताओं को क्या हो गया है? भगवे रंग से इन्हें क्या आपत्ति है? हिंदू धर्म के ध्वजा का रंग और केवल साधु संतों का पहराव का रंग नहीं है भगवा. भगवा रंग त्याग, बलिदान, समर्पण, ज्ञान, शुद्धता एवं अध्यात्म का परिचायक है.
कांग्रेस ने देश को बहुत बर्बाद किया. आजादी के बाद जिस प्रकार देश को जिस रास्ते पर ले जाना चाहिए, कांग्रेसियों ने बहुत अपमान किया. राम सेतु राम नहीं है, शंकराचार्य की गिरफ्तारी, भगवा का अपमान करना, मंदिर का अपमान करना, टीका लगाकर लोग चलते हैं तो उसका अपमान करना, धोती कपड़ा पहनना, यानी सभी के वस्त्रों पर या भारत की संस्कृत सभ्यता पर आक्रमण करना, सनातन धर्म पर आक्रमण करना, ये उनकी परंपरा बन चुकी है। और कांग्रेसी कल्चर ने देश को बहुत बर्बाद, भ्रष्टाचार दिया उसने, जातिवाद में लड़ाया, धर्म में लड़ाया। आज नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में 8 सालों में एक परिवर्तन दिख रहा है। लोग राष्ट्रवाद के लिए आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। दुनिया के अंदर भारत माँ का जय जयकार हो रहा है। आदरणीय योगी जी 6 साल में उत्तर प्रदेश को न्यू यूपी बनाया। न गुंडागर्दी, न भ्रष्टाचार, मंदिर का निर्माण हो रहा है, काशी विश्वनाथ कॉरिडोर हो रहा है।
कांग्रेस पार्टी की ये मानसिकता है, ये भगवा रंग से चिढ़ते हैं, जानबूझ करके भगवा आतंकवाद शब्द गढ़ने का काम करते हैं। हिंदुत्व और भगवा से इनको इतनी नफरत है, इसलिए जानबूझ करके एक साधु संत महंत जिनकी इस प्रकार की वेशभूषा जिसका पूरी दुनिया आदर करती है, उनको लेकर के अपमानित करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश में योगी आदित्यनाथ जी ने एक मॉडल खड़ा करने का काम किया है, जिसकी आज दुनिया भर में तारीफ हो रही है, लेकिन वो जानबूझ करके उनके कपड़ों पर चर्चा करके हिंदू भावनाओं को ठेस पहुंचाने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
There a barrage of BJP statements counters to what the Congress had said and has now taken a U-turn on a number of reasons being provided for why the clothing and the color of Yogi Adityanath is not what determines what kind of investment comes in, and also firing back at Congress's claims over any kind of communal disharmony. The BJP says that Uttar Pradesh is in its best state. It has been for a long time and it is primed for investment. We are tracking this very closely. The Chief Minister of UP is in Mumbai. We'll get you more on this.
As the film Pathan attempts to hit the theatres for its screening in Gujarat, Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Bajrang Dal tore up posters and other publicity material at a mall in Ahmedabad. Vastrapur police rushed to the mall that also houses a multiplex and detained 5 activists who were released later. Watch now. The Bajrang Dal members shouted slogans and tore posters. This comes days after Gujarat VHP had warned it would not allow the screening of the film anywhere in Gujarat. The activists have warned that the protest staged in Ahmedabad must be considered as a stern warning by all the theatre owners across the state of Gujarat. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Viewers, for our next story, we have updates in the obscene, the bizarre, the frankly horrifying episode that transpired on an Air India flight in late November this year. The flight was traveling from New York, JFK Airport to New Delhi, and there was a passenger aboard it who urinated after getting inebriated on a 70-year-old elderly woman co-passenger who was sitting next to him. Now, at that time, the passenger who was the victim here had issued a complaint. She had complained to the Air India staff. However, no action appears to have been taken. It was only a month later when the passenger, the victim, when she wrote to the chairman of Tata Sons, Natarajan Chandrasekhar, only then was action taken. Now, the police has launched into action. There is a manhunt ongoing to trace down this man, this creep who had urinated on his co-passenger. After doing so, he had refused even, we are told, to extricate himself from that position. He had been asked by a fellow passenger to move from that spot and to sit elsewhere. So we are being told now that there are a number of police teams that are out looking for this person. He is said to be a resident of the north areas of Mumbai in Meera Road is what we are given to understand, but his current location is unknown. Alongside, Air India wants to interrogate its staff who were party to this incident, on whom the onus of escalating this complaint falls. So Air India is going to be speaking to all of the staff who were a party to this, who were aboard this flight. This was a wide-body Boeing 777 airliner. It was flying just about as long as it's possible to fly from New York to New Delhi, and the Delhi police is on the hunt. The police has also informed that fellow passenger statements will also be taken amid the demand to arrest this gentleman. We have Harsha joining us right now. Harsha, what is the Delhi police currently doing about it, and what action are they going to take, A, against this man who urinated on a fellow passenger, as well as if it's going to happen on any laxity on Air India's part to help them with it?
That was a 1 month old incident of November 26. The police, Air India
26. The police, Air India sent a complaint to Delhi police official on December 28, and it was in December 28 when a small complaint was sent by Air India to the Delhi police official. When the more information Delhi police seeked from Air India, at that time they only shared the mobile number of the female passenger, and after that the FIR was registered on Wednesday only. Right now we are at IGI police station. We are trying to gather more information from here, but we have got to know that the crew member and the staff member of Air India, the same airline, the same Boeing 777 which was going from JFK to New Delhi, the crew members and staff members have been called by DCP Airport, who is Ravi Kumar Singh, and the inquiry will be done. The interrogation will be started with the crew members and with the staff members. Till now, nothing of certain, because teams of Delhi have gone to 3 different locations. We have been told one is in Mumbai, and there are 2 different locations where accused is thought of because he has fled away, he is absconding, he is underground, he has gone MIA. So now Delhi police officials are on the verge of searching for the accused, and Delhi police is very confident that they will arrest the accused anytime soon. But right now the details of the female passenger, because she is a foreign national, has yet not been shared by the Delhi police. They are saying this matter is very sensitive, but yes, after 39 days, Air India told Delhi police officials, this IGI airport Thana, that something like this has happened in the airlines. They didn't take the cognizance of this entire matter, this entire nasty incident. They didn't take the entire cognizance till 39 days. The woman advocated for herself. She wrote to the Tata Group chairman. After that, her complaint was registered. Ankit, back to you.
Right. Stay with us, Harsha. Even as you bring us this information, there are a number of question marks, particularly with regards to what Air India did or did not do. Did they escalate the matter to the DGCA, for instance? To tell us more, Suesha is now joining us from the Noida newsroom. Suesha, what did Air India do? What did they not do? What is the police doing? Why was there a delay? Could you share some insight?
Absolutely, Ankit, and that is the very question that is now being asked to Air India as to how could there be such a lapse on an incident as grave as this, because let's understand that the man urinated on that elderly woman and he continued to do so. He continued to flash his private parts in front of her until a co-passenger had to intervene. Why is it that the crew did not come out in full force? And most importantly, for an incident as severe as this one, why was it not reported to the DGCA? Now, this is exactly what is being said by the DGCA also, as per our sources, because usually when something like this happens, an airline is immediately supposed to report the matter to the DGCA, that is the aviation regulator. But in this case, sources in the DGCA say that an airline is bound to report an incident to the aviation regulator immediately, but the same was not apparently followed with respect to the November 26th incident. So the incident that happened on the 26th of November, why has there been such a strong delay? Why hasn't been there no strict action against the man? Why only a 30-day ban that has been imposed? And most importantly, this man has been identified now. Ankit, he is Shekhar Mishra. He is a resident of Mumbai. He lives in Mira Road, according to our sources, and a team of the Delhi police that has already left. They are in Mumbai to search for that man. So is what the Mumbai police is doing. But we really see action on this front catching pace now. Why is it that a matter as severe as this, as grave as this, was not reported in full force? Because the airline has said that we have also constituted an internal committee to probe the lapses on part of Air India's crew and address the deficiencies that delayed quick redressal of the situation. This is the very point that is being raised against Air India, because they are now saying that they've formed multiple teams and they built an internal team to look into this matter. But this should have been done at a much earlier stage, and most importantly, stricter action that should have been taken. Because, Ankit, let's understand, there has to be a precedent on this. this cannot occur, that too in the business, these were business seats that both the passengers had, and there is a reason that you pay an elevated price because you want that kind of luxury, but that doesn't mean that somebody can misuse it like this. And how much alcohol had this man consumed? He was in an inebriated state. Were all these things noted at that time, and had action been taken on time, appropriate consequences that that man would have to then face?
Suyesha, absolutely. We hope we'll get a sense of where this goes.
लेकिन इंडस्ट्री बंद नहीं होनी थी, सप्लाई चेन बंद नहीं होनी थी, एक्सपोर्ट को हमने थमने नहीं दिया। परिणाम रहा कोरोना जैसी महामारी ने हमारी गति को थाम नहीं पाया था, और उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर कोविड प्रबंधन का एक बेहतरीन मॉडल भी हम लोग देने में सफल हुए। ये सभी कार्यक्रम हम लोग जहां आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं, हम सब जानते हैं औद्योगिक निवेश के लिए जो सबसे अच्छा बेस चाहिए वह एमएसएमई का एक क्लस्टर। यूपी के पास आज के दिन पर 96 लाख एमएसएमई की यूनिट है, ये रजिस्टर्ड हैं, और इसने यूपी के अंदर जो अनंत संभावनाओं को आगे बढ़ाया है। वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट वन प्रोडक्ट की उत्तर प्रदेश शासन की वह अभियान, जिसने अपने परंपरागत उद्यम को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए उसकी अच्छी डिजाइन हो, अच्छी तकनीक हो, उसके लिए अच्छा मार्केट मिले, उसकी ब्रांडिंग हो, इसे लेकर के हम लोगों ने जिस कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाया है, आज वह देश के अंदर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में आत्मनिर्भर भारत का ही आधारशिला बना है, और उस दिशा में हम लोग बहुत अच्छा कार्य कर सकते हैं। और इसीलिए विगत 4 वर्ष के अंदर आपने इस बात को देखा होगा, 5 वर्ष के अंदर उत्तर प्रदेश ने 4 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक के निवेश को आसानी से जमीनी धरातल पर उतारने में सफलता प्राप्त की। मुझे लगता है कहीं नहीं हुआ होगा कि अगर एमओयू हमारे पास 4,68,000 करोड़ रुपए के हुए थे और उनमें से 4 लाख करोड़ को हम लोग जमीनी धरातल पर उतार रहे हैं, यह उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर ही हुआ है। कोविड-19 जैसी महामारी के बावजूद हुआ है, और मैं इसलिए आज आप सबको आमंत्रित करने के लिए आया। उत्तर प्रदेश ने अपनी 25 सेक्टोरियल पॉलिसीज बनाई हैं। औद्योगिक निवेश के लिए जिस प्रकार का वातावरण चाहिए, बेहतर कनेक्टिविटी, हमारे पास जितने भी हमारे प्रदेश के अंदर इंटर स्टेट कनेक्टिविटी, नेपाल से हमारी सीमा मिलती है लगभग 550 किलोमीटर की। बिहार, झारखंड, थोड़ा सा छत्तीसगढ़ में, मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान, हरियाणा, उत्तराखंड और दिल्ली, ये उत्तर प्रदेश की सीमा इन राज्यों से और नेपाल अपने पड़ोसी मित्र देश से भी मिलती है। ये सभी कनेक्टिविटी हमारी आज के दिन पे 4 लेन की है। उत्तर प्रदेश में राजधानी लखनऊ से पूर्वी क्षेत्र को जोड़ने के लिए पूर्वांचल एक्सप्रेसवे, बुंदेलखंड को जोड़ने के लिए बुंदेलखंड एक्सप्रेसवे, पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश को पूर्वी उत्तर प्रदेश से जोड़ने के लिए गंगा एक्सप्रेसवे, राजधानी दिल्ली से प्रदेश की राजधानी लखनऊ को जोड़ने के लिए यमुना एक्सप्रेसवे और आगरा लखनऊ एक्सप्रेसवे, ये कनेक्टिविटी के हमारे बेहतरीन माध्यम बन चुके हैं। हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर को हम लोगों ने 4 लेन की कनेक्टिविटी के साथ जोड़ा है। प्रदेश की राजधानी लखनऊ से ये सड़क इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की स्थिति उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर है। देश का सबसे अच्छा रेल नेटवर्क भी उत्तर प्रदेश के पास है, 16,000 किलोमीटर का। ईस्टर्न एंड वेस्टर्न डेडिकेटेड फ्रेट कॉरिडोर भी उत्तर प्रदेश से होकर के जाता है। दोनों का जंक्शन भी उत्तर प्रदेश के जेवर में ही मिल रहा है। यह उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर रेल नेटवर्क है। एयरपोर्ट के बारे में आपके सामने अभी बताया जा रहा था। 17 तक केवल 2 एयरपोर्ट हमारे पूरी तरह उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर क्रियाशील थे। आज हमारे पास 9 एयरपोर्ट हमारे पास पूरी तरह क्रियाशील हो चुके हैं। 10 नए एयरपोर्ट पर हम लोग कार्य कर रहे हैं, जिनमें से 5 एयरपोर्ट हम लोगों ने एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया को सौंप दिए हैं एक एमओयू के तहत कि आप इनका संचालन करिए। इनके मेंटेनेंस आदि में जो खर्चा आएगा राज्य सरकार उसमें सहयोग करेगी। 5 एयरपोर्ट हमारे बहुत शीघ्र तैयार होने जा रहे हैं, जिनको भी हम एयर कनेक्टिविटी के साथ जोड़ने के कार्य करेंगे। लैंडलॉक्ड स्टेट से भी हम ऊपर उठ चुके हैं। देश का पहला वाटरवे हल्दिया से वाराणसी के बीच में प्रारंभ हो चुका है और इस दिशा में हम और भी कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर ढेर सारी संभावनाएं हैं और इसलिए 25 सेक्टोरियल पॉलिसीज आपके सामने है। मैं आप सबको आमंत्रित करता हूं कि ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर समिट के लिए उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने, यानी वैश्विक व्यापारिक समुदाय को हम लोगों ने इसके लिए आमंत्रित किया है। तो स्वाभाविक रूप से जो उत्साह दुनिया के अंदर देखने को मिला है, लगभग 7,12,000 करोड़ रुपए के प्रस्ताव हमें प्राप्त हो चुके हैं और हम लोगों ने इस पर तेजी के साथ अपने कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाना प्रारंभ किया है। स्वाभाविक रूप से ये देश की आर्थिक राजधानी कही जाती है और इसलिए मैंने स्वयं इस बात को महसूस किया है कि मुझे घर के अंदर तो आमंत्रण देने के लिए स्वयं ही जाना चाहिए और इसीलिए मैं आज स्वयं मुंबई में आया हूं आप सबको आमंत्रित करने के लिए कि उत्तर प्रदेश की इस अपॉर्चुनिटी का लाभ लीजिए। ढेर सारी संभावनाएं हैं। आपको भी, आपकी निवेश को भी सुरक्षा की गारंटी राज्य सरकार देगी। मानवीय हस्तक्षेप 0 है। आपने एमओयू किया, वहीं से मुख्यमंत्री कार्यालय इन सब की मॉनिटरिंग करना प्रारंभ कर देगा। उसमें फिर आपको कहीं जाने की आवश्यकता नहीं। कोई भी आपके किसी कार्य में हस्तक्षेप नहीं करेगा। आप फिर देखेंगे निवेश मित्र, निवेश सारथी के साथ साथ इंसेंटिव देने की कार्रवाई भी ये सभी डीबीटी के माध्यम से सीधे आपके पास जाएगा। आपको किसी कार्यालय के पास जाने की आवश्यकता ही नहीं पड़ेगी। हम लोगों ने टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग करते हुए ह्यूमन इंटरफेरेंस को 0 करने का प्रयास किया है और उसी दिशा में मैं आप सबका सहयोग चाहता हूं कि उत्तर प्रदेश
Coming in from New Delhi, from the Rohini court, where the accused in the hit and run case are being produced. This is the latest information that we are picking up from New Delhi. All of the 5 accused are being produced currently in the Rohini court. We know that they had been sent to police remand. The police is bringing them now to court for further hearing, even as it continues to investigate the case and as it itself comes under the lens for lapses on its part. Remember viewers, it was New Year's late at night when this totally horrific incident, this ghastly, gory crime had taken place, wherein a 20-year-old named Anjali had lost her life after the scooty she was riding on was hit by a grey-colored hatchback car which was being driven by these 5 people. She got lodged on the undercarriage of the car and they proceeded to drag her 13 kilometers. She died in the process. She suffered horrific injuries. The post-mortem report was accessed yesterday and it revealed the kind of trauma that was inflicted on her body as she was dragged under this car for such a long distance on the outskirts of Delhi. Consequent to this, we found out ample CCTV evidence which raises questions over what the Delhi police was checking for on New Year's night, a night on which it should have been on high alert, and certainly no such car dragging a human person along should have been able to go unnoticed for 13 kilometers. The accused are now being brought to the police, to the Rohini court for further remand hearing. We'll wait to find out how many days remand is sought for them if the police wants to interrogate them any further, or what is the latest development. Alongside viewers, we have a lot of news we're tracking today. There is a big controversy over the film Pathan. The Bajrang Dal has torn down posters and massive protests are ongoing in Ahmedabad.
And a quick check of the other top stories we're tracking for you this morning. In the Delhi hit and run case, 5 accused are to be produced in Rohini court. Earlier, the court on January 2nd had granted 3-day police custody to all the accused. Delhi police personnel, including those from the PCR unit, will be questioned as part of the inquiry in the Delhi hit and run case. The inquiry will be looking into all standard operating procedures and what not was followed by the police. Supreme Court will be hearing petitions challenging the Uttarakhand High Court's decision ordering the state authorities to remove encroachments from railway land in Haldwani's Banbhulpura area. Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari is likely to inspect the work going on in the Bengaluru-Mysuru Expressway today. Gadkari is also scheduled to conduct an aerial inspection since the expressway is likely to be opened before the assembly polls. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is scheduled to flag off BJP Rath Yatra in Tripura today. Now, according to sources, 50,000 BJP workers at both places are expected to be present. This is seen as a big move by the BJP ahead of the assembly elections. Main accused in the Uttarakhand murder case of Ankita Bhandari, where Pulkit Arya has given a list of 6 questions which he wants to be asked to him during his narco test. That is scheduled for today. The case pertains to the death of the 19-year-old Ankita Bhandari, whose body was recovered, from the Chilla Canal in Rishikesh on the 24th of September. In a shocking video from RK Nagar constituency in Chennai, DMK MLA Ebenezer is found inspecting a water pump where a corporation worker is forced to clean the blockage in the ditch using his bare hands. A man belonging to the SC community was forced in front of an MLA while manual scavenging is prohibited in the country.
Inebriated man urinates on a 70-year-old woman on a flight. India demands the arrest of this airborne creep. Yogi Adityanath's saffron robe spooks the Congress. Its leader says, stop talking about religion when you want investment. A big controversy over the film Pathan. Bajrang Dal tears down posters, protests massively in Ahmedabad.
जिंदा है अंजलि हम शर्मिंदा है तेरे कातिल जिंदा है अंजलि हम शर्मिंदा है तेरे कातिल जिंदा है फांसी दो फांसी दो फांसी दो फांसी दो.
Anjali's family fights for justice as lapses by the cops become the top focus. Massive protests in the national capital. In the dock for negligence and delay, Delhi police to be questioned in the Delhi hit and run case. And the Supreme Court puts an interim stay on the Haldwani eviction drive, matter to be heard next on February the 7th.
cutting across right now to these live images that you will see on your screens. In fact, this is just outside the residence of Anjali. These are protests outside. In fact, we'll just get that corrected. And these are protests outside Nidhi's residence in the national capital. As remember, still the Delhi police is in the process of their entire investigation. And today what's also happened is that you've heard the Delhi police say that there is the involvement of 2 more people now in the entire case. 5, remember, already have been arrested, and they will be produced in the court. So these are images right now just outside Nidhi's residence. We are given to understand that there is a protest outside her residence. Now, who really are these people? We'll try and cut across to our reporters who are present on the ground. You do see a good amount of police bandobast also on the ground there. And yesterday also, at least 2 times, you had the Delhi police at the residence of Nidhi trying to piece together what we know on the story so far. So we'll just get Piyush with us, who's at the ground right now reporting. But what we can actually tell you is that there is anger. There is, remember, a section. In fact, Anjali's family continues to say that they do not absolutely buy the version that Nidhi is putting out. There are many contradictions. Piyush, if you can hear me and you're close there right now to Nidhi's residence, do tell us more about what you see. Who really are these people who are protesting?
So yes, good afternoon. And what you just mentioned over here is that there are some people, some local people over here who are not very convinced with the version that has been provided by Nidhi, who reportedly was Anjali's friend, and her statements to media in which she said that Anjali was heavily drunk, because of which the accident occurred, has not gone well with the local population over here, a section of local population over here who feel that it was all a kind of a statement which was done to malign the image of Anjali and thereby try to put the blame on Anjali for the mishap and tragedy that occurred to her. Now, this comes at a time when there are several new twists and turns that are coming in this case. Today also there was one more twist and turn that came when Delhi police, while briefing the media, mentioned that along with 5 accused, there is involvement of 2 more people. So definitely, as you can see, that twists, turns and new revelation in this case does not seem to end. And with every passing day, there seems to be a new revelation which comes to fore. Back to you in the studio.
That is true, Piyush, and why don't you stay with us? Because I'll just take that point a little further. Many contradictions. That's a question earlier that was asked to the Delhi police also in their official briefing. Now, what they have said, ladies and gentlemen, is right now they are treating Nidhi as a crucial eyewitness in the entire case. But why today is Anjali's mother so upset with what we've heard from Nidhi? Let's quickly listen into that reaction, and then we go back to Piyush, who's reporting from outside Nidhi's residence.
3 बजे आई बाबू। 3 बजे।
और आपको क्या वो घबराई हुई?
घबराई बहुत तगड़ी थी वो। घबराई तो इतनी तगड़ी थी, जो उसकी मम्मी बोल रही है वो गलत बोल रही है बेटा।
तो क्या बताया निधि ने?
निधि ने बताया था एक्सीडेंट होया मम्मी, बहुत तगड़ा एक्सीडेंट होया, उसको मारे गया उस लड़की को। और बस ऐसे ऐसे उसको चिकिल्ला गया। और मेरे भी चढ़ा रहे थे गाड़ी वो लड़के, काले शीशे थे उस गाड़ी के। नहीं, ये बात तो झूठ है बेटा। जो बात है, जो मैंने बताया वो सच है। उसको मारा गया और उसको ऐसे ऐसे गाड़ी गुड़ी चढ़ाई गई है। इस पे भी चढ़ा रहे थे गाड़ी, इसके थोड़ी चोट लग गई। ये घर पे घबराती उड़ भाग गई और उसको ले गए खींच के उस लड़की को। वो गलत है बेटा। जो मैं बात बता रही हूँ उस पर रट रहोगे तो सारा काम ये शुद्ध हो जाएगा। जो मैंने बोला वो ठीक है।
पर वो बोल रहे हैं कि साजिश निधि की भी हो सकती है।
नहीं, ये गलत है। देख, जो कुछ करना, हम भागने वाले हैं नहीं, हम ऐसा कुछ नहीं है ना। हमें कहीं भी ले चलो मैम, वहीं के लिए हम तैयार हैं। ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, जो मैं कह रही हूँ वो सच है बात।
So that is in fact Nidhi's mother. Nidhi's mother there is defending her daughter and she reiterates, Piyush, you're also joining us live. Now she reiterates saying, jo main bol rahi hu wo sahi hai. She says, you know, at that fateful night, on the intervening night of the 31st and 1st, after the entire incident, Nidhi is completely hassled. She's rushing back home and she's saying that she came and told me about everything. But one crucial question, Piyush, that she hasn't answered is, why did they not go to the cops? Why did they not go to Anjali's family?
Well, that's $1 million question which you have raised, Dipti. And yes, Nidhi, the crucial witness in this case, has lots more to answer. In fact, today, when Delhi police was also asked this question, the Delhi police also mentioned that they too were shocked of why actually did it take so long for Nidhi to come. And at least she herself did not come. It was Delhi police which went to her residence and had a word with her. Now, when the same question was being posed to Nidhi by several sections of media, she said that she did not do it because she was scared and she was completely shocked of the entire incident, what she saw. But having said that, there are several contradictions that have come forward. There are several contradictions in this case also. And with new revelations that are coming every passing day, it shows that there is lots more investigation. There is lots more probes which needs to be done by the Delhi police, because on the ground over here, there are still large sections of the local population which does not seem to be convinced that this is just an accident which has taken another innocent life. Back to the studio.
That is true, Piyush, and this is the reason why I think it's important to get down to the bottom of the story. But like I said, the more you get into the story, the more you realize that the story is far deeper and far different from what it's coming out right now. And we trust you to get us more live reportage, Piyush. For the moment, I thank you, as we'll keep getting our viewers more updates on that story. Let's move on. We have more breaking updates coming in. In fact, the next story is about what's happening vis-a-vis the movie Pathan. Now, these are images that you will see on your screens coming in from Gujarat, where Bajrang Dal has been out in the streets protesting against the movie. Now, you would recall that the censor board earlier had also written to the movie makers speaking about how certain things need to be kept in mind. Now, what the Bajrang Dal right now has said, apparently confronted by our colleague Priyanka, that this is not a threat, but a clear warning. Let's do one thing. We listen into what really happened, the entire sequence of our colleague Priyanka confronting the Bajrang Dal workers over this complete hooliganism now that has been captured on cameras.
सबसे पहले तो आपकी बात को थोड़ा मैं नकारूंगा कि वहाँ पे कोई किसी प्रकार की तोड़फोड़ नहीं की गई है। सिर्फ जो बैनर्स लगे थे और कटआउट्स लगे थे वो निकाले गए हैं। और हमारी जो मांगे हैं वो ऐसी है कि ये फिल्म के अंदर दीपिका पादुकोण पर एक गाना फिल्माया गया है जिसके अंदर उसने भगवे कलर के अश्लील कपड़े पहनकर बेशरम रंग शब्द प्रयोग किया है। तो ये शब्द प्रयोग जो किया है उससे सनातन धर्म के लोगों को, उनकी भावनाओं को आहट पहुँची है, उनकी ठेस पहुँची है। और हम ये फिल्म ये सीन के साथ गुजरात के अंदर रिलीज नहीं होने देंगे, इसके लिए हम कटिबद्ध हैं।
पर ये आपको किसने बता दिया? ये आप कह रहे हैं कि अपने भगवे रंग को करने के लिए, पर ये तो एक खाली उनका कॉस्ट्यूम था, खाली वो एक मूवी के अंदर है, तो इसके ऊपर बात का बतंगड़ क्यों बनाया जा रहा है?
जो कॉस्ट्यूम है जो वो भगवा रंग का है और बेशरम रंग बताया गया है। और
क्या भगवा रंग आपका पूरा है, आपका ट्रेडमार्क है उसके ऊपर? क्या रिलीजन का ट्रेडमार्क है उसके ऊपर? क्या उसको यूज नहीं किया जा सकता?
बिल्कुल, भगवा रंग जो है हिंदुत्व के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है, आदि अनादि काल से जुड़ा हुआ है और भगवा रंग हिंदुत्व का प्रतीक है।
पर ऐसे कभी पहले नहीं हुआ है कि मूवीज में लोगों ने भगवा रंग पहना होगा? ये तो एकदम से कुछ कोइंसिडेंस का भी बात हो सकती है, तो आप इस पे इतना बड़ा क्यों इस पे बनाया जाए?
नहीं, ये कोइंसिडेंस इसलिए नहीं हो सकता है क्योंकि भगवा रंग के पहले भी कपड़े पहनकर
आपके उन्होंने इंटेंशनली ऐसा किया है?
जी बिल्कुल, ये एक फैशन हो चुकी है। बॉलीवुड के अंदर हिंदू धर्म का अपमान करना एक फैशन हो चुकी है और कंट्रोवर्सी पैदा करके खुद की फिल्म का प्रमोशन करना ही कंट्रोवर्सी हो चुकी है। तो
पर उन्होंने एक आउटफिट पहना था, उसमें ऑफेंस लेने वाली बात क्या है? क्योंकि वो ऐसा तो है नहीं कि ऐसे आउटफिट लोगों ने, एक्ट्रेसेस ने पहले मूवीज में नहीं पहने हैं, हमेशा से पहने ही है, तो उसमें क्या दिक्कत आ रही?
आउटफिट पहना उससे हमको कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, परंतु आउटफिट भगवे रंग का पहना और उसके बाद बेशरम रंग शब्द प्रयोग किया गया, हमारा विरोध ये है, बेशरम।
पर ये विरोध आपको नहीं लगता कि कहीं ना कहीं एक गलत तरीके से भी किया जा रहा है? क्योंकि जो मल्टीप्लेक्स ओनर्स है वो तो अपना काम कर रहे हैं, वो तो अपनी मूवीज रिलीज कर रहे हैं। अगर आप प्रोटेस्ट करें तो वहाँ पे जाके पोस्टर्स फाड़े जा रहे हैं, वहाँ पे जाके आप जबरदस्ती उनको धमकाया जा रहा है कि यहाँ पे मूवी रिलीज नहीं करनी चाहिए। ये किस तरह का प्रोटेस्ट?
वो अपना काम कर रहे हैं, हम हमारा काम कर रहे हैं।
ये आपका काम तो नहीं है ना सर कि आप कहीं पे भी जाएंगे, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन क्रिएट करेंगे? आपको किसने कस्टोडियन बना दिया हिंदू रिलीजन?
बिल्कुल हमारा काम है। हिंदू धर्म का जहाँ अपमान होगा वहाँ बजरंग दल होगा, चाहे वो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर हाथ में लेना होगा तो भी लेंगे, और चाहे जितने केस होना है वो होंगे, परंतु ये फिल्म यहाँ पे रिलीज नहीं।
तो आप अभी भी बोल रहे हैं कि आप फिर भी वहाँ पे करेंगे, प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे, लोगों को जाने से रोकेंगे?
बिल्कुल, अगर ये फिल्म रिलीज हो, जो भी थिएटर मालिक ये फिल्म रिलीज करेंगे तो वो अपने आप भुगतने।
Now it seems as though Bajrang Dal has taken the religion in their own hands, become custodians of the religion, and now they're also creating hooliganism in the name of it by saying that they have taken offense on the movie Pathan, and they had in fact just here at the theatre come yesterday, and you see several posters of the movies that have been put up, and one such poster was that of Pathan, and that's exactly what we saw, that several such posters of Pathan movie had been torn, and the Bajrang Dal workers had come here and they had created ruckus, and they had also threatened the multiplex owners, and they had stated that if you release this movie here there will be consequences, and that they will be stopping people from coming here and watching this movie as well, and that you are not allowed to do any promotional events of an anti-national movie is something that the Bajrang Dal workers have also stated, and that is why we see hooliganism in the name of protecting the religion that is being perpetrated by Bajrang Dal, and no cognizance as of now by the police has been taken. With video journalist Vipin Mori, I'm Priyanka Sharma for Republic.
We headed to a break right now, but on the other side, we keep our focus on the story all of you have been talking about. Use the hashtag #ArrestAirborneCreep and send us your thoughts. Do remember the man already has been identified. He's the same man who relieves himself on a 70-year-old senior citizen on an Air India flight. In spite of that, the man is scot-free. Also, Yogi Adityanath's saffron robe has spooked the Congress. The leaders say stop talking about religion for investment.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
And in other international news, it's an attempt to root out corruption, and the Philippines Interior Secretary has now asked all police generals and full colonels to submit their courtesy resignation to clean the ranks of ties to illegal drugs. More than a dozen police officers were arrested or relieved from their posts and put under investigation last year for their involvement or suspected involvement in the drug trade. Myanmar's ruling military on Thursday freed mass prisoners, including some political detainees, to mark the 75th anniversary of independence of the country from Britain. The military government said it was pardoning 7,012 prisoners, along with a partial commutation of the sentences of other inmates not convicted of serious crime. Iranian chess player Sara Khadim has received multiple phone calls threatening and warning her from Iran not to return home. Sara was told not to return as she competed at the international tournament in Kazakhstan without a hijab amid nationwide protests against the hijab in Iran. Unauthorized use of mobile phones by Russian soldiers have led to the deadly Ukrainian rocket attack in Makivka on January 1st, raising the death toll to 89. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Moscow is planning a full-scale mobilization to launch a major offensive. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said on Wednesday that his main policy challenges this year will be wage increases, investment promotion and childcare support. Kishida will be visiting Washington, D.C. for talks with President Joe Biden to underscore the strength.
Let's get you a quick check of more stories we are tracking at this hour. The Supreme Court has stated the directions of the Uttarakhand High Court regarding removal of encroachments from about 29 acres of railway land in Haldwani. The top court now has posted this matter for further hearing on February the 7th. The court has also issued notices to the railways and the state government seeking their responses on a batch of pleas challenging the High Court order for removal of encroachments in Haldwani. As protests continued against the Uttarakhand High Court's order to evict a little more than 5,000 families from 78 acres of the encroached railway land, the top court now has also asked the government to work on a rehabilitation scheme. Addressing the media, the Delhi police earlier have clarified that the statement of the accused has shown contradictions to the findings of the police and that the police now say they will be filing a strong charge sheet in the case. Residents were also seen staging a protest earlier in Delhi seeking justice for the victim. The protest took place outside Anjali's residence in New Delhi. The Karnataka cabinet has accepted the magisterial probe report into the riots at DJ Halli and KG Halli in Bengaluru in the August of 2020. Republic, remember, has also accessed this note that has given a clean sheet to the police action of lathi charge and firing later. To Madhya Pradesh now, where a medical student has died in an accident in Jabalpur. Two medical students were travelling on a bike that collided with a truck. While the boy suffered injuries, the other girl got trapped in the truck and she later died. To Jammu and Kashmir now, where a bandh is being observed in the Mendar area of the Poonch sector against the killings of civilians in Rajouri. Union Minister Amit Shah is now in Agartala to flag off two Rath Yatras in Tripura, where assembly polls are due later this year. Addressing a public rally, he said that the centre has ended terrorism in Tripura through peace talks with the NLF. As the Railways is taking strict cognizance of the attack on Vande Bharat Express in Bengal, the Chief Minister has mocked the entire incident. She says Vande Bharat is nothing but an old train refurbished with a new engine. We're heading into a break right now. On the other side, we will be keeping our focus on what's happening in Karnataka. The BJP, remember, already has sounded the poll bugle. The BJP National President JP Nadda is in Bengaluru.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
First of all, for past 2 months, there have been various issues which has been popping up in Tamil Nadu. That is from BJP only. Okay. And sincerely, I would like to only question in which way Annamalai has supported any woman. In which way he has supported. Be it there was a audio leak with Daisy Charan and Trichy Surya. He actually made a compromise and he actually suspended the person, Trichy Surya. But it just vanished away. The problem, he did not accept his resignation. Basically, he is a habitual offender. Trichy Surya. And he's not only done that to one person, he's done it to Alish Abdullah, which also came in the same month. Yes. And then she has also openly came out to the press and told that, the person is spoken very badly. And he's apparently very close aide of Annamalai. Now, today, he's saying that I will not accept his resignation. And in which way is he voicing out for women? Where he has actually openly spoken about me in front of 150 people, speaking about Dubai in a very absurd way, in abusive way, inducing a very wrong idea about a woman, especially me. And then now, he doesn't even have an answer to come out. He doesn't have an answer. Recently, I just saw a interview where press meet, he's saying that let Gayatri Raghuram put more allegation on me, so I will become famous, popular, so people will talk about me. So is he used?
Welcome back. We've all seen what happened yesterday. Complete shock and horror after a story that Air India did not want to talk about was exposed here on Republic, where you have almost a 40-year-old man who relieves himself on a 70-year-old senior citizen. And what happened? He is scot-free. It's only after the big Republic campaign and a reportage here now today that we do know that that man possibly could be arrested very, very soon. And that, remember, is going to be a top focus through this day here. And we'll also, in fact, ask you, the viewer, to join us in this big Republic campaign as we quickly head into a break right now. But do remember, like I said, we'll keep all our lines open. You can send us your messages, your thoughts on that big story. Also on the other side, the other story that we've all been very, very closely tracking. The absolute Delhi horror. Who's trying to cover up Delhi cops also possibly could be quizzed very, very soon. Also, the Supreme Court has announced an interim stay on the Haldwani eviction drive. The matter now will be heard on February the 7th. The full story when we come back after this very short break.
First of all, for past 2 months, there have been various issues which has been popping up in Tamil Nadu. That is from BJP only. Okay. And sincerely, I would like to only question in which way Annamalai has supported any woman. In which way he has supported. Be it, there was a audio leak with Daisy Charan and Trichy Surya. He actually made a compromise and he actually suspended the person, Trichy Surya. But it just vanished away. The problem, he did not accept his resignation. Basically, he's a habitual offender, Trichy Surya. And he's not only done that to one person, he's done it to Alish Abdullah, which also came in the same month. Yes. And then she has also openly came out to the press and told that, the person is spoken very badly. And he's apparently very close aide of Annamalai. Okay. Now, today, he's saying that I will not accept his resignation. And in which way is he voicing out for women? Where he has actually openly spoken about me in front of 150 people, speaking about Dubai in a very absurd way, in abusive way, inducing a very wrong idea about a woman, especially me. And then now, he doesn't even have an answer to come out. He doesn't have an answer. Recently, I just saw a interview where press meet, he's saying that let Gayatri Raghuram put more allegation on me, so I will become famous, popular, so people will talk about me. So is he using me as for his popular agenda? So women are, so he cannot answer a women's question for the abusive comment he had made, but he wants to keep me as a agenda to make this issue as a popular. Absurd is that. Which leader would come say something like that?
And a quick check of the other top stories we're tracking for you this morning in the Delhi hit and run case.
अच्छा, एक रास्ता था युवाओं के लिए अग्निवीर वाला। उसमें क्या था? सुबह युवा उठते थे, 4 बजे उठते थे, दौड़ते थे। यूपी में आपको हर सड़क पे दिखेंगे, देश की रक्षा करने के लिए दौड़ते थे और सपना था एक दिन बॉर्डर पे जाके देश की रक्षा करेंगे, तिरंगे की रक्षा करेंगे, सपना था।
I'm Shravan Sen reporting from New Delhi, and this is Republic TV.
First of all, for past 2 months, there have been various issues which has been popping up in Tamil Nadu. That is from BJP only. Okay. And sincerely, I would like to only question in which way Annamalai has supported any woman. In which way he has supported? Be it there was a audio leak with Daisy Charan and Trichy Surya. He actually made a compromise and he actually suspended the person, Trichy Surya. But it just vanished away. The problem, he did not accept his resignation. Basically, he's a habitual offender, Trichy Surya. And he's not only done that to one person, he's done it to Alish Abdullah, which also came in the same month. Yes. And then she has also openly came out to the press and told that, the person is spoken very badly. And he's apparently very close aide of Annamalai. Okay. Now, today, he's saying that I will not accept his resignation. And in which way is he voicing out for women? Where he has actually openly spoken about me in front of 150 people, speaking about Dubai in a very absurd way, in abusive way, inducing a very wrong idea about a woman, especially me. And then now, he doesn't even have an answer to come out. He doesn't have an answer. Recently, I just saw a interview where press meet, he's saying that let Gayatri Raghuram put more allegation on me, so I will become famous, popular, so people will talk about me. So is he using me as for his popular agenda? So women are so he cannot answer women's question for the abusive comment he had made, but he wants to keep me as a
Viewers, you're watching Superfast 50. I'm Shivangi Shukla. Let's get started. UP CM Yogi Adityanath addressed businessmen and industrialists in Mumbai and invited them to the UP Investment Summit. Yogi Adityanath said that there is zero human interference, and once a MOU is signed, their things will be monitored by the CMO. Congress leader Hussein Dalwai had earlier called out UP CM Yogi Adityanath for wearing saffron clothes, but after facing flack, the Congress leader tried to take a U-turn by clarifying what he meant. BJP leader Shehzad Poonawalla has hit out at the Hussein Dalwai. Poonawalla says that the Congress has adopted a formula in which they insult saffron symbol to build vote bank. He further added that Congress makes anti-Hindu comments to attract votes.
Saffron is a pratik, is a symbol of sacrifice. Saffron is part of our tricolor. Does the Congress party oppose that also? Today Rahul Gandhi must tell us, because he claims to be a Janyudhari Hindu, does he stand with these anti-Hindu comments of Hussein Dalwai, or will the Congress party take action on Hussein Dalwai and sack him?
Delhi police has sent notices to all the crew members of Air India flight Boeing 777, which was going from JFK to New Delhi in light of the Air India incident. Police also informed that the passengers will also be called in to record their statements. A drunk man who had urinated on a woman co-passenger in the business class of Air India flight in November has been identified as Shekhar Mishra. A businessman is being tracked down by the Delhi police officials. Delhi police have filed an FIR against business Shekhar man Mishra for allegedly urinating on a woman co-passenger in the Air India flight. Meanwhile, sources claim that the teams of Delhi police have already left for Mumbai in search of Shekhar Mishra. Sources have informed that the accused businessman Shekhar Mishra is not in Mumbai and Delhi currently. Therefore, a search operation is underway. Delhi police is looking out for him as well. All 5 accused produced in Delhi hit-and-run case has been produced in Rohini court. Delhi police is likely to seek a polygraph or a narco analysis test for the accused. Addressing the media, Delhi police have clarified that the statement of accused in the Delhi hit-and-run case has shown contradiction to the findings of the police. 2 more people are involved in the case, Ashutosh and Amit, who tried to change the identity of the driver and distract evidence.
हमारी 18 टीम्स इसमें काम कर रही हैं और मल्टीपल जो टीम्स हैं वो सभी पहलुओं पर काम कर रही हैं और इसमें हम अभी तक क्राइम सीन को अच्छे से विजिट कर चुके हैं और पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन हो चुका है और 5 एक्यूज्ड हमारी कस्टडी में हैं.
Meanwhile, residents along with Anjali's family staged a huge protest. The protest took place outside Anjali's residence in New Delhi. Getting some news coming in right now, viewers. The protesters gather outside Nidhi's house. Protesters gather outside Nidhi's residence. Who is Nidhi? Nidhi is a friend of Anjali, the victim, who's also the key eyewitness in the case. And the visuals we're seeing on a screen are the protesters gathering outside her residence right now, viewers. We're getting you back-to-back updates. Remember that the family continues to protest. The family keeps asking for justice for Anjali. The visuals coming in on the screen as police arrive at Nidhi's residence. The police had arrived yesterday as well at Nidhi's residence and she is a key eyewitness in this case. But that's what the Delhi police is saying. A lot of statements that she has made. She has said that Anjali, the victim, was drunk. But the post-mortem report, remember, said there was no alcohol in Anjali's body. So right now, the entire investigation is being focused on the key witness as well, where all the accused, the police are saying all the accused, not just you're talking about Anjali's friend here who's an eyewitness, but the other accused are all contradicting each other. They're coming out with multiple versions. So inquiry into police lapses are also continuing. Let's go to Tanisha. Tanisha is joining us live. Tanisha, we are seeing visuals on our screen right now where the police have arrived at Nidhi's residence and we are seeing some protests also happening. We're seeing many people have gathered there.
Well, right, Shivangi. Right now, I am outside the Rohini court where the hearings go, where the accused will be produced in just some moments from now. 3:30, remember, was the time that was given to us of all the 5 accused being produced in the case. But a new twist has come out in the case, where remember the police have confirmed that there were more accused in the case, and not just 5 of them. The other 2 accused who remain to be free right now were involved in erasing the evidence that was there. Right now I am outside the Rohini court. As you can see there is ample amount of police deployment here on ground, and it is a very, very crucial day today, because remember, the police today would inform the court about various angles that are emerging out in the case and the analysis of the CCTV footage. Apart from that, this would be the first hearing after the post-mortem report of Anjali is given out, and a copy of same will be given to the court. So these are the 2 main points. Apart from that, remember, Nidhi is the pillion writer, the so-claimed friend of Anjali, whose statement that was recorded under 164 will also be presented to the court today. So it remains to be very, very crucial as to what developments will take place today in this record. As I can show you, there's massive security deployment here. Movement is here at the spot. Remember, it was gate number 4 last time when the accused were produced, and today also gate number 4 of the Rohini court has ample amount of police deployment, and the accused are expected to arrive here in just some moments from now. Shivangi.
Right. So you're outside the Rohini court right now, and let's also talk about there are 2 more persons. I repeat, Delhi police is saying 2 more people are also involved in the case, and also Nidhi's statement has been recorded. Do we know exactly what she said in that statement?
Well, so far we do not have the exact details of what Nidhi has told in the statement to the police. However, remember, she has spoken to the media and she has given out several claims where she has said that her friend Anjali, the 20-year-old, the victim, was intoxicated while she was riding the two-wheeler. Not just this, she has also claimed that it was the accused who knew that there was something stuck under the car, that they knew that a 20-year-old human being was stuck under the car, yet they did not stop and they continued to drive. She also said that the accident was so intense that she fell on the other side. However, she sustained no injuries. But remember, all of these claims that she has given out to the media remain debunked also, because there are several contradictions in the version that Nidhi has given. Now the contradictions come in 4 from the post-mortem report and also from the eyewitnesses who have claimed, the post-mortem remember has claimed that there was no intoxication in Anjali's blood, so no alcohol content was found in Anjali's blood. Nowhere is it mentioned in the post-mortem report that alcohol was found in the blood. So one of those main claims given by Nidhi that Anjali was drinking and driving the two-wheeler remains debunked. It remains busted. Also, there are questions on other claims that was put by Nidhi.
और इस तनावपूर्ण माहौल के बीच में एक बार फिर से दिल्ली पुलिस पहुंची हुई है यहाँ पर पूछताछ करने के लिए। तस्वीरों में देखा आपने कि किस तरीके से जो महिला पुलिस है वो यहाँ पर पहुंची है। सुबह से 2-3 बार ये सिलसिला चल चुका है जब दिल्ली पुलिस की टीम यहाँ पर आ चुकी है पूछताछ करने के लिए। तीसरी बार जो पुलिस की टीम अंदर गई उसके साथ महिला पुलिस भी थी। तो माना यह जा रहा है कि जो निधि बहुत सारे बयान दे रही है, जो विरोधाभास पैदा कर रही है और अपने बयानों में उलझती दिखाई दे रही है, बहुत सारी बातें झूठी साबित हो रही है। लिहाजा जहाँ पे एक तरफ अंजलि का परिवार निधि पर गंभीर आरोप लगा रहा है, तो वही दूसरी ओर दिल्ली पुलिस की टीम भी निधि के बयानों को क्रॉस वेरिफिकेशन के लिए यहाँ पर पूछताछ करने के लिए पहुंची हुई है। ये मंगोलपुरी के इलाके का घर है निधि का, जहां पर इस गली में भी काफी ज्यादा तनावपूर्ण माहौल हो गया है। इस गली के लोग भी खासे नाराज हैं और भारी भीड़ उनकी भी इकट्ठी हो गई है निधि के घर के बाहर। उसको देखते हुए पुलिस ने इस पूरी गली में जो पुलिस मुस्तैद है, इसके साथ साथ अभी फिलहाल अगर बात की जाए तो निधि के घर के अंदर भी पुलिस की मौजूदगी है। निधि से पूछताछ की जा रही है। पूछताछ इस बात को लेकर की जा रही है कि जो बयान उनकी ओर से दिया गया अंजलि के शराब पीने को लेकर या बहुत सारी अन्य बातें भी कही गई, उसमें कहीं ना कहीं जो पोस्टमार्टम की रिपोर्ट है मैच ना होने के कारण यहाँ पर एक बार फिर से उनके बयानों को मैच करवाने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। क्रॉस क्वेश्चनिंग की जा रही है, क्रॉस वेरिफिकेशन किया जा रहा है उनके बयानों का, और इसीलिए पूछताछ का दौर निधि से, जो कि इकलौती चश्मदीद महत्वपूर्ण गवाह है उस रात के हादसे की, उनसे दिल्ली पुलिस की पूछताछ लगातार चल रही है यहाँ पर।
Republic Bharat, who is getting us all the details right now. The police are at Nidhi's residence. A short while back, viewers, the Delhi police has informed that they have recorded the statement of an eyewitness and Anjali's friend Nidhi in the case and is proceeding with the investigation. The police further informed the police have not yet found any connection between the witness and the accused in the case. A lot of details coming out right now, viewers. Right now, the police at Nidhi's residence, where Anamika, our reporter, is stationed at, and she's getting us all the details. At the same time, we have Tanisha at the Rohini court getting us more details from there. Remember that the investigation continues. Let's go to Anamika. Anamika, वहां पर है, वहां बहुत प्रोटेस्ट भी चल रहे हैं निधि के रेजिडेंस के सामने। क्या बोल रहे प्रोटेस्टर्स?
ऐसा क्या है जो निधि छिपा रही है? ऐसी क्या वजह थी जो निधि अपने दोस्त को लेकर के झूठ बोल रही है, या कुछ छिपाने का प्रयास कर रही है, या किसी के दबाव में है, या ऐसी क्या बात है जो छिपाने का प्रयास यहाँ पे उसकी ओर से किया जा रहा है? ये जानना चाहते हैं दिल्ली पुलिस के जवान भी, साथ ही ये इस गली के लोग भी, साथ ही पूरा देश, क्योंकि पूरा देश ये भी जानना चाहता है कि उस रात क्या हुआ अंजलि के साथ, जिसकी चश्मदीद गवाह सिर्फ और सिर्फ निधि है। तो यहाँ पर जो निधि के घर के बाहर के हालात है वो देख पा रहे होंगे आपके, बेहद तनावपूर्ण माहौल है यहाँ पर। सकरी सी गली है, लेकिन सकरी सी गली में अब पैर रखने की जगह भी नहीं है, क्योंकि अच्छा खासा जमावड़ा यहाँ पर लोगों का हो गया है, जिसमें मीडिया कर्मी भी है और दिल्ली पुलिस के लोग भी हैं।
Right. So we're getting these visuals for your viewers of protesters gathering outside Nidhi's house right now, and at the same time we'll be seeing that the accused will be produced in the court as well. So that's where Tanisha is getting all the details. But viewers, this case is taking many twists and turns, and back-to-back updates coming in. अनामिका, मैं आपके पास वापस जा रही हूँ. We can see वहाँ पुलिस खड़ी हुई है. अभी कोई निकला है निधि के घर से?
But now they are not satisfied. They say that the two lies have already been caught. The two lies which Nidhi has told media. Now, how can police build a case on?
All right, we'll come back to Anamika. Let's play out the reaction. We have got a reaction of the mother of Nidhi. Let's play that out.
3 बजे आई बाबू, 3 बजे।
और आपको क्या वो घबराई हुई?
घबराई बहुत तगड़ी थी, वो घबराई तो इतनी तगड़ी थी, जो उसकी मम्मी बोल रही है वो गलत बोल रही है बेटा।
तो क्या बताया निधि ने?
निधि ने बताया था एक्सीडेंट होया मम्मी, बहुत तगड़ा एक्सीडेंट होया, उसको मारे गया उस लड़की को, और बस ऐसे ऐसे उसको चिकिल्ला गया, और मेरे भी चढ़ा रहे थे गाड़ी वो लड़के, काले शीशे थे उस गाड़ी के। नहीं, ये बात तो झूठ है बेटा, जो बात है जो मैंने बताया वो सच है। उसको मारा गया और उसको ऐसे ऐसे गाड़ी गुड़ी चढ़ाई गई है, इस पे भी चढ़ा रहे थे गाड़ी, इसके थोड़ी चोट लग गई, ये घर पे घबराती और भाग गई और उसको ले गए खींच के उस लड़की को। वो गलत है बेटा, जो मैं बात बता रही हूँ उस पर रट रहोगे तो सारा काम ये शुद्ध हो जाएगा। जो मैंने बोला वो ठीक है।
पर वो बोल रहे हैं कि साजिश निधि की भी हो सकती है।
नहीं, ये गलत है। देख, जो कुछ करना, हम भागने वाले हैं नहीं, हम ऐसा कुछ नहीं है ना, हमें कहीं भी ले चलो मैम, वहीं के लिए हम तैयार हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। जो मैं कह रही हूँ वो सच है बात।
All right, viewers. So right now, viewers, if you're watching Republic TV right now, what is happening is that the police have reached Nidhi's residence. They're standing outside. At the same time, viewers, a short while back, we saw a lot of protests. Protests continue asking for justice for what happened with Anjali. Remember, Anjali met with an accident in the midnight of the new year, and she had sustained injuries, very, very deep injuries, because of blunt force, because of being dragged for multiple kilometers. Right now, the police is at Nidhi's residence. A short while back, like we told you, the police had also questioned her. Her statement was recorded. Remember that the police is saying that Nidhi's statement was recorded and she's one of the key eyewitnesses in the case. In fact, the accused statements are also being recorded, and the police is saying that multiple versions are coming out from the accused. So right now the investigation continues, viewers. Still, many crucial questions have to be answered. That why did it take a long time for the police to respond after the first PCR call? Why were there so many contradictions? Also, we're getting many reactions coming in, viewers. Let's go ahead and play out this reaction of the mother of Anjali, the victim in the Delhi hit and run case.
हो ही नहीं सकता एक्सीडेंट, अपना भी करवा के देखें, इस तरीके से एक्सीडेंट कैसे हो जाएगा। आरोपी और विक्टिम एक दूसरे को जानते नहीं थे, कोई जान पहचान नहीं थी। नहीं, कोई नहीं, किसी को नहीं जानते। तो क्या वजह होगी ऐसा कुछ जो आप लोग कह रहे हैं? पता नहीं क्या दुश्मनी थी। निधि बहुत कुछ बोल रही है इसको लेके।
निधि सब झूठ बोल रही है,
हम जानते ही नहीं है उस निधि को।
उठा उसका भी घर से।
निधि को जानती हैं?
नहीं जानते, कोई नहीं जानता।
निधि खुद को अंजलि का दोस्त बता रही है।
नहीं, कुछ नहीं जानते। दोस्त था, 4 दिन मिला तो मार दिया।
नहीं जानते।
क्या मांग है आप लोगों की?
हमारी बेटी को
न्याय चाहिए,
हम लोगों को फांसी चाहिए।
फांसी चाहिए। पुलिस की तरफ से
come back to you. Tanisha, if you can hear me, you're outside the Rohini court right now. Just tell us what is happening outside the Rohini court. We know that the accused will be produced before the court. Give us a quick update.
Well, right, Shivangi, right now I am outside the Rohini court, gate number 4, where the accused will today be presented in the Rohini court. 102 is the court number, as we are getting to know. Security, as you see, has been beefed up outside the court, because in just some moments from now, 3:30 is the time that was given, that all the 5 accused will be produced in the court today, and the police is likely to seek more custody of all the 5 accused, because remember, there are many unanswered questions which the police needs to interrogate. Remember, today the focus will be on the CCTVs, because the police has been claiming that there are few discrepancies in the CCTV that is coming forward. Remember, another angle that has now come to the fore is about Nidhi, the pillion rider, the so-claimed friend of Anjali, who has been claiming that she was intoxicated. Her statement last time was recorded under 164, and today that statement will also be would also be given inside. Now, what we're getting to know is that the family has been demanding that Nidhi to be produced also as one of the accused, because whatever claims that she is given is false, is not true, and she has been trying to defame the victim and put several allegations on the victim. Now the family has been demanding that Nidhi to be also declared as one of the accused in the case. This day also remains crucial in the case, is because this is the first time that all the accused will be presented inside the court after the post-mortem report. Remember, the post-mortem report is very, very important, that has come out, because it gives us several details. Number one detail, the very, very important detail that it had given out, is about no alcohol mentioned in the post-mortem report, which has debunked and busted Nidhi's claim, wherein she had claimed that it was Anjali who was intoxicated, and in that state she was riding the two-wheeler. Now that claim has been debunked from the post-mortem report. The post-mortem report has also given out very, very scary details, where we learned that there were 40 injuries that Anjali had to go through. She was dragged for several kilometers. And remember, now there are lapses also coming to the fore, lapses from the Delhi police. All of those angles will today be looked at, and it's a very, very crucial day today, Shivangi.
Right. Thank you so much, Tanisha, for getting us all the details. Keep us ahead on the story outside the Rohini court. Tanisha will get us all the details. Let's go ahead and see the CCTV footage which has emerged, viewers. You can see the visuals on your screen. There are multiple CCTV footage where you can see the accused get off the car. The accused go around and then are inspecting the car. They're trying to see what is there. You can see that visuals on your screen, viewers. This is the first CCTV of the accused that Republic TV has accessed, where the accused get off the car and they take an auto. First they get off the car, then they check what's beneath the car, and then they take an auto and flee from the spot. You can see how 2 people leave. They're in the car right now. Others have gotten off the car. So these are the visuals coming in, viewers, of the CCTV footage. Very soon, all 5 people will be brought to the Rohini court. All 5 accused. Let's go back to what's happening at Nidhi's residence. The visuals coming in, the police at Nidhi's residence. The police at Nidhi's residence, viewers, where we're getting visuals, and the entire focus has also come to the friend of Anjali, Nidhi. Who's?
First of all, for past 2 months, there have been various issues which has been popping up in Tamil Nadu. That is from BJP only. Okay. And sincerely, I would like to only question in which way Annamalai has supported any woman. In which way he has supported. Be it there was a audio leak with Daisy Charan and Trichy Surya. He actually made a compromise and he actually suspended the person, Trichy Surya. But it just vanished away. The problem, he did not accept his resignation. Basically, he's a habitual offender, Trichy Surya. And he's not only done that to one person, he's done it to Alish Abdullah, which also came in the same month.
Yes.
And then that has also, she has also openly came out to the press and told that, the person is spoken very badly. And he's apparently very close aide of Annamalai.
Okay.
Now, today, he's saying that I will not accept his resignation. And in which way is he voicing out for women? Where he has actually openly spoken about me in front of 150 people, speaking about Dubai in a very absurd way, in abusive way, inducing a very wrong idea about a woman, especially me. And then now, he doesn't even have an answer to come out. He doesn't have an answer. Recently, I just saw a interview where press meet, he's saying that let Gayatri Raghuram put more allegation on me, so I will become famous, popular, so people will talk about me. So is he using me as for his popular agenda? So women are so he cannot answer women's question for the abusive comment he had made, but he wants to keep me as a agenda to make this issue as a popular. And how absurd is that? Which leader would come say something like that?
Viewers, getting some updates coming in. In the man urinating on a co-passenger case on a flight from New York to Delhi. The aggrieved lady, alleged offender, has appeared to have sorted out the issue, so not reported the incident. That's what Air India is saying, viewers. We're getting some updates coming in. Viewers, where Air India right now is attempting to play down the crime, and they have said the aggrieved lady, alleged offender, appeared, quote unquote, appeared to have sorted out the issue, so not reported that incident. So the incident was not reported because that's what the Air India is saying, that aggrieved lady, the lady who was allegedly urinated on, and the alleged offender appeared to have sorted out the issue. So we are seeing these top updates coming in right now as we keep getting the latest on the story. Remember that right now the search is on to find this person, this businessman who had urinated on a lady on the flight from New York to Delhi, viewers. So we're getting these top updates right now for you. Back-to-back updates coming in. The search is on. Some sections of the IPC have also been added right now, and the probe is on to understand what really happened in this case, viewers. So right now, viewers, it seems to be an incident which is coming in where the Air India is going ahead, and they are saying that and they're coming out and saying that both appear to have sorted out the issue. So this is what Air India's defense is coming out at this point of time, because they have a question on why did this incident take place, and why was no swift action taken when such an incident had transpired when they were on the flight. Remember that the drunk passenger who allegedly urinated on a woman passenger in the business class of the Air India flight has been identified. He's a businessman hailing from Mumbai, and all efforts are on now to nab him. That's what the police have informed. The Delhi police have also informed that if the suspect does not cooperate, then the police will send a lookout circular against him. An FIR has also been filed against the man. But the big update coming in is what Sandeep, our correspondent, will also help us understand better. Sandeep, now this is a statement coming out from Air India where they're saying that aggrieved lady, alleged offender, quote unquote appeared, I repeat, quote unquote appeared to have sorted out the issue. That is why when this incident, this horrific incident was happening, that is the reason why Air India did not take this incident forward or take action against that man. That's what Air India is saying.
See, yes, that is what something being reported, and in fact, this is the statement being given by the lady, by Air India to DGCA, and at this point of time, it is being mentioned that she has done settlement with the alleged accused, and in fact, after that only the actions were in fact not initiated. But at this point of time, serious questions are raised whether there was any primary inquiry done or any report being filed on this incident that took place at that point of time. What were the measures in fact taken by primarily by Air India when this incident happened. So there are serious, questions being raised on Air India in regards of actions and management that was in fact done. And initially, if at all the women or the victim women had in fact settled down, what was, whether there was any primary report being filed at that point of time, who were the people who were in fact informed at that point of time, were the cabin manager was informed about this total incident, why there was no a normal complaint was in fact not registered at the local police station there after landing in Delhi. There are serious several other questions that are also being raised, but this is the clarification or the statement being given by Air India to DGCA in regards to this.
Right, Sandeep, hold on for a second. Also, Suesha is joining us from a Delhi newsroom. Suesha, take our viewers through exactly what this really means, because this in a way is looking like Air India trying to downplay the entire incident.
Oh yes, Shivangi, and this is exactly what you term in the corporate world as brand management, because it is really about saving your image, and that is exactly what is happening on the front of Air India. See, there has been a clear lapse, and the airline cannot shun away its responsibility from that. Questions being asked to Air India as to why strict punishment was not taken, why the matter was not reported to the DGCA, which is the norm. So the moment this happened, the aviation regulator, that is the DGCA, is to be informed about incidents like this, but the DGCA is saying that they were not informed. Now, Air India is downplaying this entire incident by saying that the female passenger was refunded the full fare of the flight. This is what Air India has told DGCA as the reason for not informing them also on time. Also saying that the man urinating on co-passenger case, a grieved lady, that is, and the alleged offender appear to have sorted out the issue, so the incident was not reported. This obviously has a lot of questions when it comes to the brand of Air India, and this is a very, very grave incident where the man urinated on the 70-year-old passenger. Not just that, he was exposing his private parts to her. He continued to do that. And let's understand, these were business class seats. Also, the fact that Shivangi, when the lady complained to the Air India crew that the man had urinated on her, all they offered her was a change of clothes. And when she came out of the washroom after changing her clothes, and she said that she cannot sit on that same seat anymore, they said that they can't do anything about it because there was no other seat. Then after that, after about 20 minutes of constantly complaining to the crew, one of the crew members gave her seat, which is actually meant for the crew, and she said, "Why don't you sit here?" After 2 hours again, the lady was told that please get up and go back to your seat, and she said, "I can't go there because that seat is stinking, it is still reeking of urine, and I cannot go and sit there." They said, "No, we've covered it with a cloth and now you should go and sit there." She again tried doing that, but she obviously could not. So for the rest of the flight, that is the remaining 5 hours, she had to sit on the seat that actually belongs to the crew. Now, this is not the kind of an experience that anyone wants to have. It is not just about flying business class. It is also about the fact that there needs to be certain rules and regulations, especially when it comes to unruly passengers and their behavior, and there needs to be a stop on it. It is very cases like these that need to set a precedent and send out a message that this kind of behavior will not be acceptable on a flight, because let's understand that when you're mid-air, where do you go for help? What do you do? There is only so much, and only the crew members can help you. So all the more their responsibility becomes a lot more. And incidents like these also instills fear, because, you know, when such kind of cases happen, one would think twice before flying a certain airline, before flying business class, before really thinking that how the airline dealt with that matter, which is exactly what you see what Air India is doing, trying to create that perception that, you know, since matters were settled between both the parties, so they did not bother reporting it to the DGCA, but that cannot cut ice for any airline. So, of course, this is the latest that is coming in, and we are trying to track what is really happening, because Air India also saying that they are in touch with the passenger.
Yes, Suesha, thank you so much. We'll also cut across to Sandeep in just a bit. Let's also break this important bit of information that's flashing on your screens. Republic has been able to access the complaint copy in the entire case. Now, does this obviously now indicate that possibly Air India wanted to buy the silence of this victim? You know, had this story not appeared, had Republic not put out the story in such a big manner, we would have not seen absolutely any word at all from Air India. I also want to say good afternoon to Brinda Adige, who's with us right now. Brinda, thank you for your patience for holding the phone line. Now, tell me something. The story has moved very, very fast, Brinda, in just the last few hours. You know, it's a big Republic campaign. We are telling our viewers if they have absolute horror stories to tell about, you know, flying the aviation sector, they should be, sharing those stories with all of us. But I think, Brinda, the very fact that you have an airline that believes that it can buy the silence of, a co-passenger like this and say we've initiated a full refund, an apology was given, so the matter must be considered closed is worse. This is worse because this tells you that no matter what, you believe that money power comes above absolute anything. Accountability, responsibility, nothing matters.
This is absolutely horrendous. Horrendous that a airline group, a company decides that if they can waive off her charges, the seat charges, then everything should go away and nothing should come out to the front. Don't they understand this is a crime? A crime cannot be bought off with a plain seat coming into that flight. How is it that they thought that that could just be something that is like a bribe? We'll give it to her and she must keep quiet. It's shameless that a company of this stature thinks like this, because we are talking about a crime over here. It is not something that can be waved off. It cannot be something that can be pushed under the carpet and said, okay, everything is fine now, both of you sort it out. Not only that, the airline crew was not correct in all their actions that they did inside the airplane also. Asking her to go and sit in a seat which is meant for the crew or for anybody else. This fellow continued to enjoy the same seat. And this guy might be, drunk or whatever, but the airline should have taken it into the consideration that she has nowhere to go. She can't run away from there. She cannot take anybody's help. The crew is the only one who can help her and protect her. And all of them treated her with such indignity after what had happened. And this indignity cannot be just waved off or, it cannot disappear with just a compensation of a seat money. This is absolutely unacceptable. There should be a case that should be also filed on the airline people, the staff. It is not enough that a case only on this perpetrator, and a case must also be registered on the delay and dereliction.
Yes, the captain, the crew, absolutely. Brinda, you're spot on. You're spot on. This is the reason why I think this is a campaign that should only get bigger. A lot of our viewers, remember, have continued to send us their responses, and we must tell them that at 4 we'll also be taking your calls live. If you have a viewpoint on the story, what you think, you must call us and tell us. I also want to take it across to Niranjan, who's joining us right now. He has accessed a copy of the complaint. Now, Niranjan, first up, what does this complaint say? And I today want to know just one important question.
Yes.
Why has Air India been even coy about sharing the name, the details of this particular passenger? It's only after, we've brought up the story in a big way starting yesterday that today certain details have started to emerge.
Well, I saw the response that was given by Air India, Dipti. For them to even suggest that they appeared to have sorted the issue and that's why it's okay, I think that itself tells you that there was a casual approach to this entire incident. And I have the full complaint copy. In fact, we also have the name of the passenger, but we are withholding that information. We are not naming the woman passenger, the 70-year-old who was the victim in this particular case, who had to face that pervert and that creep on board midair. But let me read out the entire ordeal as she wrote while describing this entire incident to the grievance, Air Seva grievance, right? I'm going to read out, Dipti, it's a fairly long letter, but I think it's the first time that any channel is putting it out, and no other channel has put out the full details. Republic has accessed the full letter, the full complaint, the full incident being described by the 70-year-old woman passenger herself. Let me read that out. She says, I would like to submit a complaint. I would like to submit a complaint about my appalling experience traveling on Air India business class flight AI 102 seat 9A from JFK to New Delhi on the 26th of November 2022. During the course of the flight, shortly after lunch was served and the lights were switched off, a male business class passenger seated in 8A, basically just right behind her, seated in 8A, walked to my seat, completely inebriated. He unzipped his pants and urinated on me and kept standing there until the person sitting next to me tapped him and told him to go back to his seat, at which point he staggered back to his seat. I immediately got up to notify the stewardess of what had happened. My clothes, shoes and bag were soaked in urine. The bag contained my passport, travel documents and currency. The flight staff refused to touch them. She says the flight staff refused to touch them, sprayed my bag and shoes with disinfectant and took me to the bathroom and gave me a set of airline pajamas and socks. I asked the staff for a change of seat but was told that no other seats were available. However, another business class passenger who had witnessed my plight and was advocating for me pointed out that there were seats available in first class. The flight crew told me that the pilot had vetoed giving me a seat in first class. So that's a very, very, very big charge. I'm reading that point out again, Dipti, only because it's the first lapse, the first time that Air India is being questioned, actually twice, because the first time she says they refused to touch my bag, they sprayed it with disinfectant and took me to the bathroom and gave me airline pajamas. And then she says another business class passengers who had witnessed my flight advocating for me pointed out that there were seats available in first class. And she says the flight crew told me that the pilot had vetoed giving me a seat in the first class. So this shows that the pilot knew what had happened and that they refused to give her a first class seat. And after I had been standing for 20 minutes, one of the senior flight staff offered me the small crew seat used by the airline staff, where I sat for about 2 hours. I was then asked to return to the initial soiled seat. Although the staff had spread sheets on the seat, the area was still damp and reeking of urine, and I refused to sit there. I was then given the steward seat for the rest of the journey. In the meantime, one of the senior flight staff came to me and asked me how I wanted to handle the situation. She was then asked how she wanted to handle the situation. I told them that I wanted the man arrested immediately by the airport police. They asked me if I would like to talk to the ground staff, and I told them that I most certainly would. Can you believe it? She says, I wanted the man arrested immediately. A senior flight staff came to me, asked me how I wanted to handle the situation. She was given the option. She was given the option of deciding how she wanted to handle the situation. She said to them immediately, I want him arrested. She said, I wanted the man arrested immediately by the airport police. They asked me if I would like to talk to the ground staff. I told them I most certainly would. Then what really changed, Deepthi? I'm going to read out the rest of it. She says the flight staff were in the meanwhile also having discussions with the offender, who was sobering up by this time, and they came and told me that he wanted to apologize to me. I stated clearly that I did not want to interact with him or see his face, and that all I wanted was for him to be arrested on arrival. However, the crew brought the offender before me against my wishes, and we were made to sit opposite each other in the crew seats. I was stunned when he started crying and profusely apologizing to me, begging me not to lodge a complaint against him because he's a family man and did not want his wife and child to be affected by this incident. In my already distraught state, I was further disoriented by being made to confront and negotiate with the perpetrator of the horrific incident in close quarters. I think we need to highlight all of this. She was made to sit opposite. She was made to sit opposite this pervert, and he broke down. She says, I did not want to do this, and yet she was asked to go ahead with that. She says, in my already distraught state, I was further disoriented by being made to confront and negotiate with the perpetrator of the horrific incident in close quarters. I told him that his actions were inexcusable, but in the face of his pleading and begging in front of me and my own shock and trauma, I found it difficult to insist on his arrest or to press charges against him. I demanded from the airline staff, she says, I demanded from the airline staff that Air India reimburse for me my shoes and clothes, but they said they had nothing to do with this. and that the man in question should pay me for that dry clean of my shoes and clothes. They got my phone number, which they later passed on to the offender for payment for my shoes and dry cleaning. I subsequently returned the payment as I did not want to take his money. I mean, this is these are very, very disturbing details. They asked Air India to bear the expense, but she says that Air India instead passed on her number to him to pay. And no, it doesn't end there. Dipti, doesn't end there. The letter goes on. Do you want me to read the rest of it? This is really disturbing.
Niranjan, just give me 30 seconds, Niranjan.
Yes, go ahead.
30 seconds. We are breaking a quick development on the story. We are learning that the Civil Aviation Ministry already has asked Air India now for details. So the government there taking note of the Big Republic campaign, the government stepping in, Niranjan. And I think this letter makes the story even more important right now for the government to step in. You know, what was a deal being stuck was the airline actually asking this victim and the perpetrator there, this creep, to actually strike a deal. And, you know, they wanted to hush the entire case. Now, what we are given to understand right now is that the Ministry of Civil Aviation has taken note of the Republic's reportage. They've also asked Air India now to provide all the details of the entire incident. They've also asked Air India to do an internal probe in the matter, submit the report to them as soon as possible. The probe has to be time-bound. These are all initial details coming in that our colleague Piyush has been able to share with us. We'll also see if we can quickly get him live with us as he's tracking the story. And the government sources also saying we encourage people to complain, put out all their grievances on the Air Seva portal. This is exactly what the senior citizen did. She has put out the complaint because Air India did absolutely nothing about this. The government is also saying we ensure that there is going to be speedy justice for the victim. And if these allegations are found true, we will take strictest action possible. But right now what they're doing is waiting for the first internal report to come in from Air India. And they also say, Niranjan, this is important, that Air India should also take the strictest actions against its crew members. So all this happening just hours after Republic, remember, has put out this big story. It's a Big Republic campaign. Piyush, I'm told, is also joining us on the broadcast. Piyush, this is significant. The government there deciding it needs to step in, and it should. But the point is, Piyush, the fact that Air India was willing to broker a deal, we've seen a very muted response otherwise also from Air India on the entire issue, Piyush. How soon could we see some bit of action? Also, the letter that we've been able to access proves that the captain was aware of what was going on. So in spite of being aware, the captain did absolutely nothing. The crew did nothing. What they did is confront the senior citizen again with this creep, and they wanted them to strike a deal, not to arrest him.
Absolutely. And Deepthi, let me tell you that we have spoken to a very important person, top government person who deals with Ministry of Civil Aviation, and he has confirmed to us that yes, the government is going to take strongest actions in this very case. Ministry of Civil Aviation is very much hurt with the kind of incident which has surfaced. In fact, they are also saying that Air India should have taken the strongest action against the crew members by now.